It's the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time. Just ahead, we review our featured car of the week, the 2021 Lincoln Corsair. We got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We got the stories making automotive news headlines, and we have, from Paint House, Randy Borcherding. All that and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin.
And he's still in the corner.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it. And how's everybody been? It's hot.
It's hot and sticky.
Yeah. So it's hot in these parts. If you're watching around the globe, just know that the Houston, Texas area is in sweltering summer heat.
There's a song, Hot Child in the City.
Yeah, you could sweat.
Yeah, Nick Gilder. Yeah. Be sure and watch that video from 1980, whatever it was.
Yep.
You'd never get away with that today. I can promise you that. Have you ever seen that video?
Now you're going to make me go look at it.
Yeah,
me too.
Let me just tell you, it is rated R.
Oh, is it? Well,
yeah, because it's like some 13-year-old girl wearing a thong and hose, and it's like, oh, my God. I'd never seen the thing before. And then a friend of mine was telling me that he sent email out to several people yesterday, important people, and, making fun of the fact that here we are, Hot Child in the City by Nick Gilder. And he was thinking of a concert that Nick Gilder did back in the day.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the video for MTV. Well,
I'm sorry.
if you go and look at the MTV video, you're going, oh my God, it's child porn.
Oh my.
It really is.
But you're joining us for an automotive show.
Exactly.
So we'll get back to the topic here.
No, you're probably more interested now. By God, it's an auto show, and they're talking about child porn. Sorry. Well, speaking of porn, here now, from Paint House's Randy Borcherding.
Car porn.
And he's outside in the heat.
Yeah, he's outside in the heat. Randy Borcherding. I mean, what an intro. I couldn't have written it any better. What do you think?
I think we'll call this hot old guy in the county.
That's it.
There you go.
How the heck have you been, sir?
Hey, howdy, fellas. I'm good. Doing great.
Well, good.
Thanks for inviting me again.
Yeah, you bet. So we really interested in what you've got in the shop. Because
we're not really interested in you.
We don't really care about you. We want to know what you're working on.
That's
because
all right.
Randy Borcherding owns a company called Paint House, and there are paint shops around the United States that call Randy and say, make us a special color.
Yep.
And so Randy manages to make the most stunning colors for cars, exclusive colors that you've never seen before, and you go, wow, that really looks great.
And Randy's a multi-time finalist in SEMA Battle of the Builders. Yep. Actually, was it 19? It was 19. You won Best Truck, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And then last year you finaled with the Ranchero, which was kind of weird the way you did it. So.
Yeah, it was a weird year, but they still managed to pull off the show, and we're honored to be a part of it.
No, absolutely. Well, it says a lot for the quality of work you do, in my opinion, kind of a backyard shop.
It is. I'll prove that to you right now.
I saw you.
So that's what's in front of you, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we live. And the shop
is in the backyard.
You don't really
there's my old Jeep J10 that I love.
And you really don't have too bad a commute, do you?
No, but I'm still the latest guy to work.
Yeah, but you're the boss. That's allowed.
Yeah, so you're never really
I'm also
late.
the latest guy to leave work.
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I saw your video you posted on social media.
I think I've lost you. I hope not.
No, you have not. If you can
I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yes, we can.
We can
see anything from you guys.
Tell him you can hear him. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Are we back?
Yeah.
I got you now.
We never lost you, so you're there.
All right, good. Good thing I didn't cuss.
Anyway, what is that thing there on the right-hand side that you just showed us? Is that a vet?
This is called a Corvette.
Ah.
Is that the one you?
Yeah, they've made them since 1953.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It has what looks like a 409 engine in it, but it's actually an LS engine.
Oh, how cool. So they put a 409 valve cover on it, huh?
409 valve covers, a twin throttle body intake. It's Holley fuel injected, 5-speed trans. It's going to be a neat ride. We've made some 17-inch turbine styled wheels that are, the center caps aren't on them yet. The spinners aren't on them yet, but some sort of like a retro driver. Be a nice one.
So those are knockoffs of the knockoffs, huh?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Nice.
And this was what you had posted the drive of on social media yesterday or the day before about, hey,
Yes,
it's the first
sir.
time out driving it, and who knows what's going to happen.
Exactly. It's kind of a scary but exciting time on the first test drive.
So did you paint the entire car, or what? I mean, what stage is it in now?
We did paint it. This is not what I would call one of our high-end show cars. It's just a really nice driver.
Yeah.
We found it up in Wisconsin. Just kind of fixed a few known issues and painted it and just made it better. We did not back up to bare fiberglass.
So this is yours?
No, it's customers.
Oh, okay.
So is this a pearl white?
No, just a nice creamy, solid vintage white.
That looks cool.
Yeah, very nice.
So, and it'll ultimately get a very dark, I'll call it espresso brown interior.
Very
with
nice.
A matching top. So the creamy white and the brown, I think, will go well together.
Oh yeah, very much so.
It's got a set of temporary back wheels on it. So that's why they don't match. It's not a new style.
Well, I'm always a fan of the side pipes. You gonna leave the side pipes on it?
We are. We wrapped them with the heat shield lava tape, but we'll put the covers on them. But yeah, that stuff really works. Keeps the heat off your leg.
Yeah, I always thought that was a cool look. And the fact that Chevrolet did it for production was always pretty cool. And then Viper kind of copied it later.
Yeah, and it's the sound. You can't beat that.
And so when do you plan on having this thing ready to go?
Probably August or so, by the time it gets out of the upholstery shop and is being driven on the street, which is the goal for this one, just to have fun in it.
Now, is this going to go to Tennessee to the upholstery shop? Because I know you have a relationship with it.
Yep, we do have. We have one in there now that is our next Battle of the Builders candidate. So this project will end up in Paul Atkins' shop. He's in Alabama, and he's a well-known, one of the best in the industry, basically. And we've used him many times, and he's got a good reputation with these vets. So he's going to take this one on for us and knock it out pretty quick, I think.
And so you're going to have this thing trucked over there?
I'll take it.
Of course you will.
He's not going to drive it.
Oh, I see. So you're gonna take it in the hauler.
Yeah, exactly.
And will
Put
you
it in the trailer?
Yeah, and
drop it off.
Will you stay? Oh, you're going to drop it off and then you come back.
Well, he's going to pick one up.
I was going to say he's probably.
I'm trying to understand the logistics of it. Shut up. I'm trying to find.
Here's the logistics on this trip. We will take it on the way to the big Columbus Good Guys show in Ohio, and we'll drop it off. The owner of the car, my friend and customer, will have his trailer with another car that we're taking to Columbus. So it'll be a drop off this one and move on and up into Ohio to go to the car show.
A little switch.
So what are you bringing to Good Guys?
He's got a really cool, the Ranchero from this last year's Battle of the Builders, as well as he's got a really neat 57 Chevy. It's got the, I'm going blank here, the 2.4 barrel motor in it.
Oh, wow.
What was that one? I can't remember the designation for that car, but just a 150 three-speed tranny, the small block Chevy with 2.4 barrels. Beautiful little car, fun drivers. We're going to take it.
Cool. Oh, how cool.
And the Ranchero as well.
Wow, the Ranchero's a beautiful ride. So you said you also have another one in the shop that's the plan for 2021 Battle of the Builders?
That one's at the upholstery shop.
Is that the red vet?
That is a blue 67 Firebird convertible.
Oh, what motor's in it?
LS3, but it's kind of decked out to look like it has an old school 4-barrel and an air cleaner on it, that kind of stuff. So it's a little more vintage, but very, very pro touring in other ways. Full chassis, custom wheels, nice custom interior, that kind of stuff.
Well, with the engine that you've got in the Firebird and then going back to the engine that you have in the White Vet, it's amazing how putting the modern technology in these vehicles with the LS motors, that there are people who build components for it to make it look retro from back in the 50s and 60s, with like
exactly.
And I think that's pretty cool because people pop the hood and they kind of hesitate for a second on what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen LS motors dressed out like Ford small blocks with a distributor
Up front?
Yeah, it's all fake, but it looks right.
Yeah. It's kind of like your 2.4s there on the Corvette.
What's the frame for?
This chassis is an Art Morrison chassis. It is the first one they've come up with for a C3 Corvette, so the 68 to 82 era. We have the first one, so we've got a project you'll see here in a moment that it's going in.
Okay.
It'll be a 69 Corvette is what it is. LS3, going to do kind of the wide body fender flare kit like the old IMSA racers back
like
in
the
the
John
70s.
Greenwood, the John Greenwood stuff.
Those are cool.
Yeah, kind of a retro race car look to it with side pipes, the whole deal.
So
but
Randy,
this is their chassis, independent rear suspension. It's very well thought out.
So you got that as an assembly, right?
Correct. What you
and,
see is how we receive it, except for the wheels we have on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're going to put the body on it and do all the attachment and then put the motor and everything in it, right?
Correct. We will take it from this to basically
rolling chassis.
A running driving vehicle.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody understood. You're much more than just a paint shop. There's a lot more involved
Correct.
here than paint.
We do everything except the sewing of the upholstery.
Is that going to be your next addition onto the shop?
I've tried. If I could get a guy in my shop that did what we need, I would happily make room for him or her.
High expectations.
But it's just they're not easy to find. And doing them, and the ones that are good are busy, like everybody else.
Sure. And that's true craftsmanship to do that kind of interior work.
Oh, it is. It's an art form unto itself.
Okay, so
I've watched our upholstery guy, how he gets to the finished product and the steps he goes through. I would have never imagined that's how you did it.
Yeah, because you kind of do it inside out.
Yeah, you have to sort of think backwards. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we keep looking at the frame. We're looking at the Mustang, and we're looking at, I guess that's a 55. But you got one
55.
over there that's under plastic too.
It looks like you got an old Mopar.
Yeah, it's a 68 Roadrunner. It's under plastic for a reason because we may or may not take it to a special show. So I can't show you too much about it.
Okay.
But it's coming along. It's been a long-term, slowly moving project like a lot of these are.
Okay.
How long do a lot of these projects, now knowing that you probably got 7 or 8 at any given time, what's the average time one of them spends start to finish with you guys?
2 years, probably.
Well, we knew
if you're able to keep a pretty consistent momentum going, both financially and with work. Yeah, about a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah, we guessed a year and a half, generally speaking. Yeah.
But some of them go way beyond that. It's just based on circumstances and economies and
the level of
situations in the customer's life
and the level of work that you're doing to it as well.
Yeah, none of this happens quickly, and none of it rarely gets done the first time. You typically have to do it and take it apart and do it again. And these cars are put together and taken apart and put back together, gosh, a dozen times or more during the process.
So when we watch these reality shows where they do it in like a 1 hour show, that's all lots of videotape and lots of pasting together, huh?
So don't they also have like night crews that come in?
Oh, they've got 70, 80 people working on them.
Yeah, I would say there's a healthy dose of editing in that.
There is, I can promise you.
In the booth here, you'll see something you don't see very often anymore. A small block Chevy.
Oh, a real small block
that's
Chevy.
about to get painted. Yeah.
And what's that going in?
It is going in a customer's got a 72 C10 truck.
Okay.
Very low mile, like it had 12,000 miles on it, but the engine just had a flat camshaft, and
Welcome to
they
Chevrolet.
decided to have it rebuilt. Yeah, right.
Is it gonna? You're gonna paint it Chevy orange?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. No chrome, all original look to it. Here's an El Camino that we're working on right now.
65. Yeah.
So I'm seeing
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing all these vehicles, all beautiful craftsmanship. Where are the people? Is your team working today?
Not today. Not today.
Oh, got you
I'm
an
the team.
LSA.
Today,
Gotcha.
today I'm the team. Every other day, Monday through Friday, they're here.
LSA
So
or
this one
LSA or LS9?
LT4.
Oh, the new. Oh, wow. And that comes
now
from.
they've got the 5, but this is the 4.
And that comes from Chevrolet as a crate motor.
Correct. The LT4 and then an 8-speed automatic. Now you can even build these things with the 10 speeds. When we ordered all this, the 10 speed was still a little unknown. So the 8 speeds, that's plenty.
Oh yeah, no kidding. How beautiful is
So
that?
Well, I understand that the tunnel work for the transmission has become major because the transmissions have grown in large proportions.
Huge.
Yeah, the tunnel here is made to be much taller and wider just because of that. The transmissions are so much more, I guess, rectangular versus triangular shaped if you were to look at them from the side.
Do you have to do any firewall work in those to get that engine to fit?
In this case, we did a little bit. You can see some of the modifications there. A lot of it's just for aesthetics.
Right.
This engine probably would have worked with a factory firewall. We just wanted it to look a little nicer.
Right. Well, it's pushed up right against the facade there.
It is full.
Yeah, by the time you get all the wiring back there, which isn't in there yet, it'll get pretty crowded back there.
You still got enough room for the steering column?
Oh, yeah. It's going to, there's the steering joints.
I see. Yeah.
And
Okay, that's not too bad at
column
all.
comes out right there.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's all we've mocked all that up already.
Got you.
And then you're going to go with, I'm assuming, the Willwood Hydro Boost brakes?
Not sure what we're doing. They will be power. Whether we're going to do Hydro Boost or Vacuum Boost, I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at space in there. I know
it's a little tight for a booster right there.
Well, that's going to be
we'll see.
That'll be a fun car to drive with that much power and no weight over the rear tires.
How much power does it have?
These out of the box are 640, I believe.
Oh.
And this is another one that's on a Morrison chassis. So it's going to handle like a dream and have more power than you know what to do with and still get 20 miles a gallon if you keep your foot out of it.
Don't try this at home.
You know, what scares me is the fact that it probably doesn't have traction control. Your right foot and the brake is the traction control.
That's it.
Oh, my God. That's a little scary for me.
It takes a driver to drive this.
Yeah.
It's not
I think you'd call it, a drive-by PF flyer?
Pretty much.
Hey, let me ask a question about something that used to be in your yard, and you were actually quite proud of it one time I came to visit. What happened to the low-mileage Vega station wagon?
What?
That I sold to a gentleman in Denver who loved that thing and made enough money on it to go buy that Jeep truck you saw out front.
How cool is that? Yeah, he had I went over there for something, I can't remember what, and Randy was showing me this Vega he had found, super low mileage, woody wagon.
Yeah, it had the wood on the side
the
of
vinyl
it.
wood grain on the side of it. It was pretty cool.
The original awful engine?
Oh, yeah. It was all original, wasn't it?
Aluminium.
Oh, it was, yes. I think it still had GM air in the tires.
GM Air.
So
Lord.
what's the plan on I'm assuming 66, 65?
66,
This one's, we built this thing, 10 or 12 years ago. It's in for some computer tuning.
Okay.
The original computer had an issue, so we've upgraded it to a more state-of-the-art ECM system. And we're just in the process of getting it back up and running. This is a, I don't know, 12-year-old project now. It's got the 2004 Cobra engine,
Okay.
Terminator engine. And golly, this thing has way more engine than tire. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, and no weight. That body style was super light with that kind of power in it.
Yeah, yeah. One of the subtle things we did on it was split the front bumper,
Nice.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice that.
kind of like on the Vets, but to make room for the intercooler. So that open area there is right where the intercooler gets all its air.
And when the car is at a show, probably only the true Mustang aficionados pick that up.
Yeah, it's very subtle, and we used the factory bumper to do it. So from the side, you almost don't know.
And you have the one and only split bumper Mustang. Makes all the mullet heads jealous, huh?
Exactly. There you go.
Randy,
Mullet
it's great for the tour. We thank you so much for taking the
that
time
interview.
out of your Saturday to join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love coming to the shop with you. So pardon us if we elbow our way in again soon.
Wipe your feet.
Anytime, fellas.
Well, again, thanks. Tell Jen we said hello, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right.
Thanks.
Randy Borcherding with a company called Paint House up on the northwest side of town.
Unbelievable quality
Fantastic.
of
For
work.
any car guy would just love to just stand around and watch and absorb it all and just be one with the shop there.
I've been there and done that. and he's so gracious because he'll kind of walk you through everything. He's got not just his paint booth, he's got his paint room where he does all of his mixing and stuff. And
His laboratory.
And then all of these little model car shells that they do
Yep.
the
Spray
test
outs.
painting and the spray out on. It's a heck of a visit.
Were you the one that introduced me to Randy? I think you were, weren't you?
I don't.
It was back in the Corvair. I
No,
thought.
not you.
Yeah,
you.
I know he's talking to you.
You.
I'm trying to
You.
remember.
I
Was
don't
it me? No, it was you.
No, I don't remember that.
And then he introduced me to Sweet Rides.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's tearing the who's doing the work.
Yeah.
I'm tearing up right now.
Oh, I tear up every time I go there. The quality of his work is pretty awesome.
All right, moving right along. Time now for the Cruise In calendar. We've got a big event that we're doing tomorrow. And let me kind of interrupt here before we get started and tell everybody that tomorrow, on Sunday, we're going to do a special broadcast that'll be on our live broadcast channels, inwheeltime.com, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So we're going to carry that live. But we're also going to record it for a future show on a Saturday when we all want to take a Saturday off. So we'll be able to do it. But it is a first annual Cruise In Car Show Extravaganza at Bayway Chevrolet, with the proceeds of this judged car show going to Wheelchairs for Warriors. So it's going to be a great event, and they've got a ton of sponsors. They're going to have a bunch of food trucks out there. Bayway Chevrolet is in Pearland on 518, which is their main street. And we encourage you to stop by. We're going to be broadcasting there from 2 to 5. The show is 2 to 6, and it's really going to be something. I predict that it's going to be jam-packed. There's going to be cars lined up trying to get in to this particular
Well, it's going to
show.
be a great weekend for it, too.
Yeah.
It's going to be sunny. We're not going to see any rain, and people are going to want to get out after
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks of rain.
About the past year and a half of
Yep.
COVID poisoning.
So wouldn't that be the inaugural event rather than the first annual?
Well, they call it the
inaugural.
first annual, so we'll just, whatever you
So we'll
want to
let
call
you
it.
talk to them about that.
I will do that.
We'll leave it the way they called it.
Okay.
So what else is going on?
Well,
Next weekend.
Next weekend. Next weekend is going to be a charity car show benefiting those local baseball teams at 5118 Telephone Road, and that's going to be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on the 19th as well, Buster's Ice Cream is going to have their third car show.
You know, you just kind of went right through the weekend.
Didn't take
and
a
I
hint.
got it
Well, you
all
told me
set
next
up.
weekend.
I set it all up for you. because next weekend is Tailpipes and Tacos.
Yeah, that's
Tailpipes. I was getting there.
Okay.
You're going to finish with that.
I was going to finish with
there.
that.
That was going to be his big finish.
I see.
That's okay. And we will be broadcasting live from Tailpipes and Tacos from 8 to 11. Be there and enjoy that. That also is a fundraiser for Shirley's Kids. Loopy Tortillas will be out at the Katy location off of Kingsland, not the Katy location off of I-10.
Correct.
The Katy, Texas location.
Just a clarification. You'd had to been there to see
Katy won't be
Don
there.
get in trouble for that.
Katy won't be there.
And then also next Saturday, for those up in the Tomball area, there's at the Chick-fil-A, they're going to have a meet at the Chick-fil-A on 2920. Pictures with race cars, and that's going to be 11 to 2. And then on July the 25th, Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's on 249 in Tomball. And then Nifty 50s is tonight at Grogan's Mill. Kemah Car Meet is tonight in Kemah at 6 p.m. And then I'm getting the wave the finger. So that's what we have coming up this weekend and next weekend in Houston, Texas. Be there.
He wasn't getting the finger. He was getting the wrap it up stage.
He's getting the fist.
Time now for this hour's car review. Thank you. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2021 Lincoln Corsair. You're as
did.
red as your shirt.
You did.
I did. Lincoln Corsair. And the trim levels available for the Corsair are Corsair, Reserve, and Grand Touring. I had the all-wheel drive Reserve. This is a small SUV. In translation, it is a Ford Escape, is what it really is.
Wow.
Oh, so it is
5 passengers, all new in 2020. Exterior features, that Lincoln grille. Gorgeous, love it. It says saved the brand, I think.
High end.
Yeah. You never guessed this is a Ford Escape underneath. Sharp-looking rear hatch with slim lighting all around. Several wheel options, all of them good-looking. What I liked about it, the sophisticated luxury look of the overall presentation. What could use improvement? I don't know. I like it the way that it is. Interior highlights, more luxury bling than Cadillac.
What?
Wide and long sunroof. Tilted center climate control panel tilts out at the bottom. Really is good looking. Sexy integrated door panels, lighting, and speakers. This is high end all the way. Cargo room is adequate for this small SUV. What I liked about it, a balance of the interior that's quiet and cozy. 2-liter, 250 horsepower. With 280 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. You think, well, that's not enough horsepower. Yeah, it is. With the 8-speed, it's just fine. Gets 21 miles per gallon city, 28 highway for a combined of 24 miles per gallon. I got 25 over 196 miles. What I liked about it, it's a nice match of power and fuel economy. What could use improvement? Nothing, because a hybrid is coming out any time now, as a matter of fact. So that'll get even better gas mileage. Ride and handling, smooth, luxury Lincoln-style ride. It's all about the class, baby. What could use improvement? Nothing other than perhaps maybe an air suspension option. But remember, this is kind of like their entry level. Then you start adding things like that, and it really bumps the price up, and it gets it kind of out.
In the Lincoln world, it's not the stripper. The stripper would be the Ford version of it. Ding. Thank you.
Stripper is the word of the day, if you hadn't figured that out yet. I'm a little slow on the uptake. Base trim price $45,090. Price as tested $57,735. Base model price $39,140. Competitors: BMW X3 for $48,885, the Mercedes-Benz GLC for $47,910, and the Cadillac XT4 starts at $42,295.
There you go.
And that is the in-wheel time review of the new Lincoln Corsair.
Good looking.
Encourage you to take a look at it.
SUV.
Okay, the In Wheel Time Car Show, reminder, streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available at your favorite podcast source. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break. When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcome like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Lupi Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Lupi Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Lupi Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U. Weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. In this segment of our show, Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll get you updated on the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike, Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's a good car show, cruise in, talk about car kind of day.
Talk about anything.
Convertible day, too, because it's hot and sticky, and you want to take the top down and cool off.
You might want to take a towel with you, so when you get out of the car, put the towel down there, so when you get back in, you don't
waffle your legs.
Waffle your legs. Or I was going to think more along the lines of grilling. With the grill marks on the back of your legs.
Sunscreen, a hat, sunglasses, all that stuff.
And make sure that you put your hair on.
Put your hair on. Don't leave the house without your hair.
That's right.
And by the way, John Gray thinks that you need to tell us about your ride yesterday. Did you took a ride or something?
Oh my God!
What?
May I just take a moment?
Let's take a moment.
So, John, if you remember correctly, last time that we talked to him, he was bragging about buying a new Shelby GT 500.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He traded in the 350 for the 500. He says, Don, I went over. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I went over there. He says, come on, let's go for a ride. Great. You want to drive it? I said, nope, I don't want to drive it, but I'll be happy to sit in the passenger seat. Oh, my God. I don't know how much legal horsepower this thing has, but it's not legal. It is not scary fast, but it is real fast. And this thing has an automatic transmission in it, which kind of surprised me. I thought for sure that it would have, a 6-speed manual. Nope. It's got a dual clutch, automatic in it, and that thing shifts fast, baby.
When it shifts, it shifts.
It shifts fast and hard. and it's good. And I'll tell you what, that thing sounds delicious. If you're into car engine sounds, this thing rocks it. And it's a beautiful car. And I was thoroughly impressed. So thank you, John Gray, over at Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
He still has that smile on his face.
He does.
It's one of those kind of cars. And the seats got Recaro seats in it from the factory. And you need that because I would imagine we didn't go around
That's a
corners
seat you
fast.
sit in, not on.
Correct.
I think who's ever wearing the Auto Shield shirt today gets the next ride.
Okay.
So we're sending Jeffrey Zekin down there wearing that shirt,
And we want
begging
you to,
for a ride.
We want you to make him just scream like a 7-year-old on a roller coaster.
And let me also
I do that anyway.
and let me also just add to you the fun of going down there. You know, he always has cool cars in there that they're working on. So I went and took the Corvette down there because I wanted those door guards, the bumpers off the side of the car. I was tired of looking at those, and I thought, you know, it's time to make a little bit of a change here. And they're glued on, you know, from the factory, 20-year-old car. You can imagine it's like trying to pull stumps out of the ground, get that stuff off of there. And the gal that works for him is so good at what she does, and she managed to get some fishing line, managed to scrape all that stuff off of there. They worked for an hour and a half on that car, and it looks stupendous. He does such good work down there, so I would encourage anybody that is looking for paint work or that kind of stuff, any kind of wraps or paint guards, whatever it is that you're looking for, go see John at Gulf Coast Auto
So
Show.
they took it off with the wire. Did they use any chemical stripper
Oh, yeah,
on it?
yeah, you had to because all that glue was still stuck on the door.
20-year-old
Yeah.
glue stuck on. So is this still at the old place, or has he moved into the new place?
No,
yet?
this is still at the old place.
It's a couple more weeks to the new one, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, John. We really appreciate it. All right. Moving on. We have a special guest joining us now. His name is James Rogerson. He's with Hands On Driving Academy. I told Mars, I said, you know, it's summertime and it's time for getting everybody all licensed up. Got to get those teenagers all schooled up and get their driver's license. And I thought, let's get somebody on from a driving school. So, James, thanks so much for joining us. It's the Hands On Driving Academy. James, are you here in Houston?
Yes, we're actually located down in Angleton. We're at Motorsports Ranch, Angleton.
Okay, right down there at the home of the original Buc-ee's.
That's correct. Yeah, we have all the Buc-ee's you can stand.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Well, so how are things? And it's been a long time since I had both of my daughters. I sent them through driving school to get their driver's license, and I'm glad that I did because, you know, it's a different set of rules when the parent is teaching the child.
Because you're allowed to slap him in the back of the head when they do something stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, it was just, to me anyway, the right thing to do for a new student is to send them to a driving school. Okay, so it costs you a little money. Just go ahead and do that. And so we would, we'd like to think that you've got a program there for these kids that you teach them how to drive.
Well, unfortunately, we don't do that. We're geared to returning veterans that have been disabled in combat. And what we do is we offer them an opportunity to drive race cars that have been modified for hand controls. And we're putting veterans with all sorts of disabilities. We've got people that are currently quadriplegics to paraplegics to multiple amputees. And that's who we're putting in the cars. The kids I try to stay away from, they're way too much work.
So what got you started in the business of serving the disabled veterans? Or not disabled, the challenged veterans?
Yeah, well, you know, they talk about themselves, but that's their right, I guess, any way they want. The what kind of got us going is back probably 10 years ago when Wounded Warrior started, we were given rides in Cup cars, Porsche Cup cars. And the guys would get in the car, and when they get through, they would go like, this is really great, but I wish I could do it. And, we were just stumped at how we could make that happen. And through the years, we've done some other racing. And about 4 years ago, I went over and raced what's called Fun Cup in Europe, and ran Spa. And the team that was garaged with us was the British veterans. And it was amazing. They had guys that had one leg off. Other ones would have both legs, one arm, and they would switch the car around between every driver change. So everybody else is trying to do an 18-second driver change, and they're praying for like a 30-minute driver change.
Wow.
And so I looked at that and I says, there's our vehicle. That's what we need to do. And so we came back over to the States, and the SCCA went to an outreach program with Vet Motorsports. And I sat down and talked to the guys in Vet Motorsports, and it just happens that the head of the competition racing board for the SCCA is a guy that's been paralyzed.
Huh.
And so I sat down with them, and so he was real eager to help us. So we fixed the rules a little bit so that we could bring in automatic cars without having to get papal dispensation on them. And we picked what is called a B-Spec car, which are Honda Fits, Toyota Yaris, Mini Cooper base model, that size car. Mm-hmm. And they're all front-wheel drive. The folks at Mid-Ohio, Brian Till, and I don't know if y'all know who Brian Till is.
I know the name.
Brian and us got together with a couple of guys that have been injured that were race car drivers that came over and started racing again. And they says, if you're paralyzed, it's really difficult for your butt dyno to feel what the back of the car is. But a front wheel drive car, you can feel everything coming through your hands.
Yeah, that was a question I had, James, is that you selected certain vehicles, the smaller vehicles. Is that because of the mechanical ability in installing this equipment, or is it just because, like you said, you can feel it more through a front-wheel drive version?
Well, we did it because you could do it with the front-wheel drive. They get better feel through the steering wheel, right, and they can tell what's happening in the car. And I was able to get that rule set changed a lot easier than I could with people with GT cars and things like that. Because they're, if you got a Trans Am car, you want a Trans Am car.
Right.
So the big bore rear-wheel drive guys are not too interested in changing their rule set to start allowing other. They're all afraid of the dual clutch transmissions and things like that because it just makes it easier to go fast.
Yeah, so it's a new class.
So who does your adaptive driving systems, the hand controls that do you guys design them yourselves, or are you adapting something that's already on the market? How do you guys work that? We're
using basically over-the-counter products. We use MPS, which is based in California. They're one of the largest manufacturers of hand control devices in the United States. Guido Simplex out of Italy, and also Fideo out of Italy. The Fideo guys use a lot of the new electronic stuff. They use they'll tie into your throttle control module so that you can just do it on electric. They've got a thumb throttle that you can use for folks that are, have no way of doing it otherwise.
Wow.
The Guido Simplex MPS kit that we have uses a throttle ring that goes inside the steering wheel. And so you don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel. You use the throttle.
So as the technology of the cars have advanced over time, from carburetors, fuel injection, to really complex fuel, electronic braking stuff, that's helped your ability to put challenged drivers behind the wheel.
Absolutely. The technology is such today that you can come to one of our races and look out at the guys going, and I promise you will not be able to tell which driver is which.
That was a question I had. A person that does not have a challenge or disability, being able to drive one of these vehicles that is adaptive, is it easier for that person to understand the controls rather than the foot hand reaction versus, say, not having a leg or using your hands only?
Yeah, it's a learned skill. I've tried to drive the cars, and I've been racing since I was probably 13, so 1960-ish kind of. And so all those skill sets that you learn through your life that become rote, you don't even pay attention to it.
Right.
It makes it more difficult for me to do it than for someone that actually needs to do it and wants to learn how to do it.
They've already adapted to doing it that way.
Yeah, most of the guys, the VA gets them what's called a Monarch 1A kit, which the brake you shove toward shove down toward the floorboard, and the throttle is a 90-degree angle where you pull down. And so they can brake and throttle, so you can trail brake in. You can do all that. All the stuff that we think is really, really difficult, they can still do. The biggest issue is arm strength. But most of these cars have power steering, so it helps, And the power steering doesn't sap a lot of the horsepower because, like on the Mini, it's electric. And on the Honda, it's electric. So you're not losing horsepower because of trying to run a pump.
And with that, you talked about Guido's. The Guido company is doing Simplex, I think is what you said it was.
Guido Simplex
is doing a lot of. Sorry, I'm from New York. Guido's something else. But they're doing a lot of the technical work. Do you know if they're getting any help from some of the manufacturers learning how to integrate into their onboard electronics to do this, or are they pretty much doing this independently of the manufacturers?
No, in Europe, it's a coordinated thing with the different manufacturers and the people that are doing the assist modules. So all the cars that they do, all street cars, and all those manufacturers work directly with them, so that if they're going in, they don't have to write code to make it happen. Right, they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But here in the domestic market, they don't get that coordination from the domestic manufacturers to speak of?
I had to get the FIA to help me get some of this stuff. I mean, you can get it in the United States, but most of the suppliers, the installers and stuff, are deathly afraid of, I hate to say this, but they're deathly afraid of being sued in the United States if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, welcome liability. To the United States, yeah.
So my dealer distributorship license with those companies is that I'm primarily focused on off-road. If someone comes up and they can't get hand controls, I'll help them.
So it kind of reduces their liability because they're not out in the public roadway, which seems kind of strange because you're talking about racing on a track.
Yeah. You would think it'd be the other way around, but when you sign that waiver that says as I like to tell people, it says, I know I'm crazy. I've been a risk taker all my life, and all my friends and my family know that I'm crazy. So
there you go.
Make it simple, and that's basically what it says.
So when you said you were at Spa, you were garaged with a British team that were all military challenge drivers. Are there teams like that here in the United States that are running in different series that go in as a team with challenge drivers? Multiple?
Yeah, the 24 Hours of Lemons group, Jay Lamb, has helped a group that's they're headquartered in Louisiana and around Lafayette. It's USMC, and I always thought they were Marines, which most of them are Marines, but their name is Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. And the guys have been running that Lemon series. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but it's a pretty good entry-level learning process. You can learn a lot from there because there's a lot to learn in that group.
Yeah, and a lot of fun, too, running Lemons.
Yeah, absolutely a lot of fun. And so those guys have been wanting to go into other racing, and so Brian Check is the guy that leads up that program. And we just had one of his drivers come through. His name is Nathan Hunt. Nathan Hunt was an IED extractor. And as he says that he's a failed IED extractor, and he lost both his legs. And of course, we had to correct him because he obviously extracted the IED.
That's true.
Wow,
Just in an unfortunate way.
What an American hero, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nathan was really, when we get these guys sent to us, get them either from Fort Sam Houston Hospital in the vet motorsports or from different places around the country. And the guys are usually working through some issues where they're having difficulty adapting to their new role or their new way of doing things. And I can promise you by the second day, their self-confidence has been up to about 300%.
Wow.
So how do you fund this?
Pardon me?
How do you fund what you do?
Right now, it's myself, Dr. Smith in Alvin, Texas, Dr. Spites, Jim Spites in San Antonio, and Dr. Rick Hill up in the north side of Houston.
Okay. My point was wondering, is there a place where any of our listeners could send a donation?
Absolutely. Yeah. Pardon me. We're so used to shelling out of our back pockets. We're a 501c3 and newly registered in January, and we have a donation page on it's handsondrivingacademy.org, and that's ORG, and you can just do that by /donate, and it'll take you right to that page.
James,
all my cars. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said all my cars have a QR code on it that'll take you right to the donation page.
Thank you so much. Listen, we're running out of time. We appreciate the time you've taken today. James Rogerson, Hands-On Driving Academy, thanks again. And time now for This Week in Auto History, and Conrad has that.
Jeffrey will have some video going up here for me on this. In 1903... Stanley Steamer received a patent for a steam motor vehicle. So the first steam automotive application came out. Now, remember, they were already doing steam trains at the time, but Stanley kind of compressed it down to this size of a vehicle and got a patent for it. In 1909, Alice Hewler Ramsey, a 22-year-old housewife and mother from Hackensack, New Jersey, became the first woman to drive across the United States with three in this Maxwell with three other companions.
My mother, the car.
My mother, the car. They went 3,800 miles from Manhattan, New York, to San Francisco, California, and only stopped for directions 27,482 times. I'm sorry, I'll get in trouble for that. Send your comments.
Moving on.
In 1932, the first gasoline tax was levied by the U.S. Congress and in the Revenue Act of 1932, and they placed a 1 cent per gallon gas tax, and that was the beginning, and they haven't stopped since.
I think that Biden wrote that bill, didn't he?
And in 1948, the hand-built aluminum prototype labeled number 1 becomes the first vehicle to bear the name of Porsche. Dr. Ferdinand Porsche built and test drove the first two-seat.
Is it Porsche or Porsche?
I always say Porsche, because when you get around the Porsche guys, they say Porsche, not Porsche or Porsche.
I say Cadillac.
So this was the precursor of the 356. In 1951, Gordon Buring received a patent for 50. Well, this one's out of sequence.
Nope.
In 1954, Ford Motor Company started the design of the Edsel, and the biggest flop in automotive history. But I figure I'd pick a bright pink one just because it's
uglier than most.
It has that horse collar or toilet seat front grill.
Dude, I don't care. You know, it's kind of like the Pontiac Aztec. That thing is just ugly any way you look at it.
Yes, it is.
And I've tried to like them, but I don't.
In 1962 was the first drive-through bank.
Oh.
which surprised me. Was
That's a 1962 bank?
No. I couldn't find a picture of that actual drive-through bank.
He just went to his Chase
But
Bank.
I just took a picture of a bank.
Could we just go ahead and flush this entire segment down?
Not yet.
Down
We got
the
one more to
College?
do. We got one more to do. In 2006, this week, the animated feature film Car. Oh, well, here we go. The animated feature film Cars. Thanks, Jeff.
Get rolled. It's your roll.
Was released, and we're going to do. Conrad's Corner is going to do an expansion.
I don't
on
think that
Cars.
there's any more corners or any other guests or
Side
anything.
streets.
Yeah, nothing. It's kind of taken a disastrous turn here this half hour.
Well, the Corvette was about the guy who had received the patent for T-tops, and the first time it was actually in production. Was
He
on-
should have been shot
Was
too.
on the '68 Corvette.
We done now?
We're done. All up
Okay.
to you.
The entire 3 minutes that I've got left. Time now for the recalls and some of the headlines making automotive news this week. Recall of the Ford F-150 for 2021. The two-piece drive shafts may disconnect. That's perfect for this segment. Loose brake caliper bolts on the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y for 19 through 21 model years.
That's not good.
Also Tesla Model Y from the 19 through the 21 model years. The seatbelt retractor is not securely attached. And also seatbelts not securely attached to the B-pillar in the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y from 18 through 21. The Ram wheel studs may break on the Ram 3500, 4500, and 5500 trucks from 2012 through 2021.
Holy
now think about
Gosh,
that.
that's a lot of
2012 through 2021.
Yeah.
Oop, there goes the wheel passing me by down the freeway. Damaged steering
Picked
gear
a fine time to leave me, loose wheel. Thank you, Darrell Waltrip. We'll hear about him again later.
Damaged steering gear may cause steering loss on the Ford F-150 for the 2021 model year. And and I think that at that time, I'm now going to move on to the next segment. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to go shoot myself.
Or me.
Or Mars. We're going to start with Mars. But at any rate, so we appreciate you for being with us today. This is the In Wheel Time program. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after these fine messages.
Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer car enthusiast and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
I don't know as if we're celebrating 10 years, but we've been doing this for 10 damn years.
Or at least
an hour.
10-year-old's doing it.
It's the in-wheel time car show. Just ahead, we're supposed to have somebody from the Ford Motor Company to talk with about the all-new Maverick pickup truck. We'll see if that happens. We need more Jeff. We'll tout his pre-owned car of the week, the Jaguar F or E.
E-Pace.
E-Pace. And we'll look at the racing calendar.
Yes.
Conrad's Car Clinic. And stories making automotive news headlines this week. We think we might have that, but we're not quite sure. It's all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Mars, Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Zekin.
I didn't do it.
We don't get
any titles
an
now.
adjective name. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
I'm not telling you who I am. Just pretend that you've never heard of me or know me at all.
Well, George Skelton has a name for you.
I'll bet a lot of people have a name for me.
HMBWT. Hold my beer, watch this.
You worked on that one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah,
I saw that you
had
had
to
it
work
written
on it
down
for a
here
while.
so you can get all the letters correct.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit here and wait for Mr. Trevor Scott with the Maverick and Ranger Marketing Group, and we'll see what happens.
No,
Well,
there's some other things we can do in the meantime.
Sure.
Yeah? What might that be?
Did you hear that
You got to
Dodge,
lie to me.
Dodge is quietly crafting the Hornet, return of the name
Really?
Hornet, as a mini muscle
Wait a minute.
car,
The Hornet, what used to
which
be
was
with
an
AMC.
right. So Dodge is talking about bringing
Is it
back
green?
the name Hornet and sharing that platform with the upcoming Alfa Romeo. I am going to butcher this, but I'm going to say it. Toenail.
Toenail. It's the toenail.
I think it's.
It's the toenail.
Yeah.
We're just going to call it the toenail. If they are going to spell
you,
it Tonale, it's a toenail.
You should know that. You have yours done once a week.
No, I haven't. I have mine done. I get my pedicure. I had my pedicure Wednesday.
Do they use a Poland or a steel?
No, she actually
Cut the
uses
nails.
a Dremel.
Dremel.
Tool
Wait
on
a minute. So wasn't that? I believe that was something
I
that
think
was
steels are better than Poland.
in Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it? Where they
got the Dremel tool out.
that was more than a
And they got-
Dremel
yeah,
tool.
they got the big grinder, big
no.
two-handed grinder.
No, she just uses a little Dremel tool, and the smell is horrendous.
I can.
Because
Oh
burning
boy.
toenail is like as bad as burning
My
hair.
God. You know, people are getting up and trying to have
know.
breakfast and coffee and things like that.
But I thought it was interesting. They're going
So
to bring
where
back
where do you go? Because we don't want to go there.
Exclusive Nails by Cindy up at the salons
Not
in
anymore.
the Vintage off of 249 and Louetta. She does a wonderful job. Has been doing my pedicures for years.
She sees you walking in the door and she runs to the back going, God, I don't want to see
back.
those things.
Every week that somebody's
Well,
named is
she's
different.
always got beer or wine when you show up. I don't know if it's for her or for
I
me.
was just going to
but-
say, because she's probably swigging down the wine before she gets
gets-
involved with
she does
those
a wonderful
daggers
job.
that you've got
Do
down
you think
there.
she'd want to sponsor the show? Maybe
I
a
will,
segment?
I will talk to her. Well, I'll trade her for
a Conrad
She
segment?
come here and do all of our nails while we're
No,
doing
just
the show.
one of your
day.
segments.
One of my segments.
Don't
yeah.
touch my feet.
This week
Okay.
in
This feet.
toenail
this,
history.
This feet in history. We've lost control.
What's her number? I'll call her.
But it's the first time Dodge will bring a hat trick. We get back to this original story since 2006 when they had, what was it, the Caliber or whatever it was. It's been that long since they've had one.
Yeah.
And the reason they're pretty sure that Hornet's going to be the name is because Dodge registered the trademark name Hornet last year. So that's why they're thinking they're going to bring that back.
And they're going to upgrade it to a murder hornet.
When he walks in the door with me,
with pink toenails.
Oh,
I
boy.
dare you to wear a
Do you-
green shirt
Let
next
me
time.
let me ask you something. Do you have them painted? Do you put color on
No,
them?
I don't even put clear on them.
Why don't you have them put color on it? No. Tell you what, I know that Angela, his wife, is not watching or listening
Thank goodness.
because she never
She's
does.
working.
Well, whatever.
Rochelle listens from time to time.
All right. Well, she's not listening to. So when you go this week, because I know that you're going to go to California for a vacation, he will not be here next week. Thank
Right.
God. And so what I'd like for you to do.
I didn't mess up the last interview. You did.
Moving on.
Well,
because of Mars.
because of Mars. So I want you to go ahead at least have one toenail painted in the color of your choice, but make it noticeable.
I've
Well, I
got
can do
one
that.
better. I've got one better. Randy at Paint House, come up with a color. Come up with a color for Conrad's toenails.
Okay, Randy, I will be there Tuesday, and you can spray my toes. In Randy Apple 3.
Wait, Randy won't be there Tuesday for sure now.
He's always late for work on Tuesdays.
Yeah, and you know,
He was watching. He did stay on to watch. So
Did
I'm
he?
sure he's sitting there going, "No, I'm not going to be here."
and I'll
Tuesday."
never be on that show again.
Did you also hear that General Motors is in a class action lawsuit over oil consumption on the 2.4 liter
Four-cylinder?
four-cylinder? They're having quite an oil consumption issue with it, and now there's a class action lawsuit. GM's figuring that the class action lawsuit will be dismissed because in the owner's manual, it tells the owner of the vehicle to check their oil level every time you fill up with gas. Who does that?
Well, apparently BMW owners do that.
No, BMW owners
It's
don't.
a sealed system. BMW does.
It's a sealed system, but also on the BMW.
But I thought that they had a bad oil consumption
They do,
issue.
but they have an oil light, a level light that comes on. It's a little optical sensor in the oil pan that, as the oil gets below it, the light comes on. The Audi does, the Mercedes does as well, because they all burn oil. But in GM, they don't have any kind of.
So let me ask you this: when a modern today's style engine burns oil, doesn't that mess up the catalytic converter?
Yes. GM in their service manual says a quart of oil in 2,000 miles is an acceptable amount of oil consumption.
That is
Wow, that's a
absolutely
lot.
stupid.
Holy
BMW says a quart of oil in 750 miles is an acceptable level of oil consumption on their M series.
How is that? Explain that to me. In today's engines that are built basically by a robot and a computer.
So the PCV system, there's
Yes.
which is the positive crankcase ventilation
Yes.
system. So it actually puts engine vacuum on the crankcase,
Correct.
down where the crankshaft and pistons and rods are all spinning in the oil.
Yes.
So on the GDI and the gasoline-directed injected engines, all the manufacturers squirt oil at the bottom of the piston because the piston gets so hot. One of the problems with GDI engines is something called carbon packing, because they build up so much carbon on the induction system. Those carbon particles build up in the combustion chamber as well, and they pack into the ringland area, and the rings get stuck on the piston. That creates blow-by. So now we've added pressure to the crankcase. We're spraying. It's like a little Rainbird sprinkler up there shooting oil at the bottom of the piston.
But don't
That's
we
spinning at 3,000 RPM.
don't
so
we know this by now and have something to
have for years.
take care of it?
have for years? Yes.
So that
yes
the,
and no.
so that the rings don't get stuck on the piston.
Yes and no. So
Well-
they put a scraper ring on, and all that does is scrape the hard carbon off. They haven't done much to control the carbon
Root cause.
The oil coking that happens in the ringland area. GDI engines run hotter, so when you turn the engine off, the temperature goes up. As they're spraying oil on the bottom of the piston, they pack a lot of oil in the ringland
Right,
area.
yep.
The temperature goes up. There's no more motion. There's no more cooling going on. So as the temperature goes up, that oil solidifies and cooks, kind of like
Does what
kind of like a Corningware dish does on the edge.
does it make any difference whether you use regular motor oil or you use synthetic?
No, it happens.
It's still going to cook.
So the oil consumption comes from the blow-by creating more pressure in the crankcase. this sprayer under there creating this oil fog in the crankcase, and it all gets drawn through the PCV system and burned through the combustion process, which is where you see lower mileage catalytic converter
Foul
failures.
plugs, all that.
Oh, yeah.
But you said it's going to be dismissed, so it's kind of a moot point for them to.
But the reason they're going to dismiss it is because General Motors warranty covers defects in manufacturing, not in design. I've already seen they've published GM's initial defense to this. This is a design issue, not a manufacturing issue, which just blows my mind that they would put something like that in
But
writing.
this is only on the 2.4 liter four-cylinder engine and not the LS engine.
That's the lawsuit is on the 2.4.
Right.
LS burns oil like a locomotive.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah, but you don't put that many miles on yours.
No, but
you know, if typically the LS motor that burns is one that's wound up a little bit more as they go with these extended oil changes. The oil is not fresh and clean in there as often. LS is not a GDI engine, but they are an oil burner. Have been since they first came out in '99. You know, that was something I was dealing with.
Well, some oil consumption is acceptable,
normal,
and not only that, but you kind of want that because that means that the inside of the engine is getting lubricated. Kind of.
Yeah.
But then today's tolerances, I mean, they're so thin. I mean, the tolerances are so tight.
And you're correct about they're so thin. You know, think about one of the things, and you've talked about it, it's on the Monroney labels, a lot of these cars, low-tension piston rings.
Yep.
So the low-tension piston rings means the piston ring has less force pushing itself outward to the cylinder wall, which means they're more prone to get stuck from oil coking in the ringland area. It is a problem everybody has. GM's in a lawsuit over it. Subaru's been in a lawsuit over it. Volkswagen has already settled their lawsuit over it. So a lot of other manufacturers are also in lawsuits.
So what's the answer to prevent that? Getting the rings stuck?
It's going to be
oil changes.
A much more frequent oil change than these 8, 9, 10, 12, 15,000 mile oil changes.
But we know we don't go 8 or 9 or 10,000 miles on an oil.
Lots of people wait for that idiot light to come on. And
they do what they're told to do. But so let me make sure I understand this. So GM's defense on this is that
it's a defect in design.
We built it properly according to the way we were told to build it. Mm-hmm. And if we were told to build crap, and we built crap, then it's not our fault because that's what we were told to do. Which goes to back to the people that look at the light that says, well, I'm told to change my oil at 15,000 miles, so that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. GM, in their initial filing, says our defense is manufacturer's warranty covers defects.
Yeah.
No, it covers defects in material and manufacture. It does not cover defects in design. And I just absolutely, that's kind of why I wrote this down. Just absolutely blew my mind that was the way they're going to present this in court. And
how do you prove that, though?
How do you disprove it?
Because everybody out there knows this design, and it's not just GM, this design of gasoline direct injection and oil consumption and intake valve and piston ring carbon deposits is a humongous problem. Everybody's experienced.
So there's precedent set, but just not in court. There's precedent set by the design.
Well, the precedent has been set in court because Volkswagen has already paid out on their class action lawsuit on the 2-liter and 1.8-liter TSI. Is it TSI? Which Volkswagen call it? Yeah,
TSI.
TDI is the diesel.
Okay.
So they've already paid out on it.
TSI?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Subaru is also in settlement of their class action lawsuit for oil consumption on theirs.
With those flat 4s and flat 6s?
Well, flat 4s. The 6 has been years and years ago, but yeah.
I think Perry Mason should be in on this one.
So, I foresee it as a problem, and whether or not media picks up on how GM defends this could very well be a big problem for them.
Yep.
Kind of like the diesel scandal where they have to pay out billions of dollars.
Ding, ding, ding. I worked for Oldsmobile when they released the diesel, and that was never a scandal.
Easy.
So another thing...
If we'd have had the internet, it would have been.
So another thing, General Motors has having a tough time finding workers for their Flint assembly plant in Michigan and Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're looking to hire thousands of people.
Why those two plants?
Because those are the plants that, I believe those are truck plants, and they're trying to gear the truck plants back up.
Okay.
And the problem is, and the union leader has a solution for the problem, says GM might consider doing away with the mandatory drug testing in order to hire more workers. I swear that was what was in the article.
Amazon's doing that.
I got
Amazon
I got that out of the Detroit Free Press. I was like, seriously, let's stop drug testing.
Mondays and Fridays were the days.
That's going to help the quality.
I worked for Fisher Body. Mondays and Fridays were the days that you called in.
Valero bought out one of the Gulf plants down there around me, and they refurbished it, did a bunch of work, wanted to hire a bunch of people. Going to hire local because of the tax deferments and blah, 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 blah. Almost 70% of the people couldn't pass the drug test, so they started bringing them in from out of wherever, out of Houston. We brought a lot in out of Houston, San Antonio,
From the drug
wherever.
rehabs places, yeah.
It's trying to find somebody that could pass the drug test.
Is that mind-boggling or
You know,
what?
you mentioned something about the union. The ex-UAW President Gary Jones was sentenced Thursday to 28 months in the federal penitentiary for stealing millions from auto workers to live a lavish lifestyle of golf, cigars, and fine liquor.
Ooh.
Jones,
Didn't
63,
even know her.
is
2 out of
the
3 ain't
second
bad.
consecutive union leader to be put behind bars following his predecessor, Dennis Williams, who last month was sentenced to 21 months in prison. In 2015, the feds alleged Jones ordered more than $13,000 worth of cigars from Gary's Sales in Arizona, in large part for the use of UAW official B, whom the Detroit News identified as Williams. The purchase included 12 boxes of Ashton Double Magnum cigars worth $268 a box, and Ashton Monarch Tubos, not turbos, but tubos, worth $274 a box.
Huh.
In 2017, the feds alleged Jones and others spent $539,608 on multiple golf resorts and hotels. They also spent more than $290,000 on condos, lavish restaurants, golf green fees, cigars, spa services,
I love it.
clothing, musicals, amusement park tickets, and other luxuries.
Hello, Dolly. Must have been the musical.
Did the cigars?
of guys and dolls.
Did the cigars have Clinton's picture on the box?
They weren't buying any blue dresses, were they?
Oh, my God.
No, that was part of the shows.
That was part of the clothing.
Is that
experience.
mind-boggling? And this is just currently. Yeah, I think if you look back in
Oh, my
history,
God.
it's just about every leader of the UAW has gone to jail. I wonder if they have a frequent flyer or frequent stayer program or special cells
In the federal
for them.
penitentiary?
Yeah.
Or special cells or special prisons for them because they've all gone to jail. for
Here's
being
your Magnum
lowlights.
Tubo. Get behind the. Get. Barney Fife says get behind the.
Barney Fife.
Yeah.
Behind him. With a cigar.
Or is it the place where they sell the knickknacks and things in the concessions? Suitcases.
Suitcases to get out.
Yeah.
The Carlos Goshen exit strategy.
That's right. Oh, that was a guitar case or
Guitar, drum case, something
yeah,
like that.
something like
Ampli
that.
case, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's that.
Randy goes, okay, if he's going to come over and get his toenails painted, the color is going to be called Fungus Among Us. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that.
And you know,
You've seen my toenails.
I don't want to know, but I can just imagine with that choice of color, name what's down there.
He knows you.
I don't. Yes, they can identify him through his toenails.
He'll have to sanitize the paint booth after he gets
Oh my gosh. Ray says, yeah, they could do spray on tan. I guess they could do spray on toenails.
There you go.
Oh gosh.
After they've all fallen off from the fungus.
He will never be back on the show. We're going to call him.
And by the way, I'd like to thank Trevor Scott for bringing levity to today's show
There you
because
go.
we needed it, and it was just the perfect timing.
I did find out Trevor was supposed to join us, but his PR person neglected to confirm with him on the date. When I sent it over, I said, here's all the Zoom meeting times. Oh, yeah, he'll be there. I'll send it to him right now.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
Huh.
At least they fessed up that
What goes around comes around.
And this
huh?
is supposed to be a conversation about the new Maverick?
Yes.
Yeah. But I have a story about the new Maverick.
Oh, this could be good.
Do we want to show some pictures? We have pictures.
Well,
While we're doing the story.
Sure, let's do it. We've got a little time
ready,
here.
Jeff?
I'm getting it.
Yeah, and while he does, let me thumb through here and let me get the story out because it was one of the stories I was going to cover in the news segment.
Oh, maybe we don't want to show a picture or not.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm ready.
But you've been talking about bringing back a true compact truck for some time.
And you know what? This is really not a true compact truck.
Bigger?
After I've seen it, no. It may be a little bit smaller than the
It is
Ranger.
smaller than the Ranger.
A little bit.
But
Yeah.
not
But
significantly.
Not what you would consider like
It's
a
not. No, it's
subcompact.
not what it used to be. The
Oh, no.
compact truck segment. So the cheapest option in Ford Motor Company's North American lineup will soon be a pickup 2022 Maverick. Scheduled to hit showrooms this fall, will become a new entry point into the Ford brand. Compact pickup unwrapped Tuesday will have a starting price of $21,490, including a $1,495 shipping charge. And we had a story and discussed it at length about these shipping charges going through the roof these days because the manufacturers clearly are making money off the shipping charges.
General Motors is being sued.
It makes it $150 less expensive than the base EcoSport subcompact crossover, Ford's least expensive offering today. It'll be the first Ford to come standard with a hybrid engine, which is expected to get fuel economy of 40 miles per gallon city. It can haul up to 1,500 pounds, and it can tow up to 4,000 pounds with the optional EcoBoost gasoline engine. The Maverick sits on the same unibody front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive system called C2, the platform, that underpins the Bronco Sport, the Escape, and the Lincoln Corsair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maverick will be geared toward younger millennials and women. Now, I've edited the story and left out a bunch of stuff in there, but
Hold that picture.
it just isn't a whole lot. Now, let me just say something about this, if you don't mind.
Please
My
do.
personal opinion. I would have liked to have thought that the Ford Motor Company wouldn't have gone back 15 years and pulled out those ginormous headlights. Really? Do you like that?
No, there's the new E, the full electric Ford
but
pickup has that bar going across the top.
But that
too.
kind of follows the F-250, F-350.
Right.
Huge headlights.
Yeah.
When clearly the direction of headlights these days is smaller.
and neon, yeah.
But look at the size of those things. It's massive.
Well, the
Do
other
you like
thing-
it? I'm asking the question. Do you like the
I'd
look?
have to see it in person.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the big lights on the F-250s and F-350s. I think you look more at the light than you do the style of the truck. Me personally.
Agreed, but in this case, it's going to have to grow on me. Like you said, you got to see it in person.
Well, the other thing I noticed is the little vent on the rear edge of the fender underneath the mirror, which is very F-250, F-350.
Yeah.
So I think there might be some reason they're doing the headlights is to draw the Super Duty truck look down to the little truck.
Well, to tie it all in, that this is the Ford series of trucks, and what
Right,
you
right,
see,
right.
like they've got that bar that goes across there with the emblem across, tying the two headlights. They've done that on all of them now.
I don't have
the
I don't have a
familiar look.
I don't have a problem with that. I think that part of it is okay.
Yeah.
The grill, the way it's made up, and the shape of the little whatever those things are inside the grill, but the headlights are just overwhelming to
Yeah,
me.
they look disproportional right there in that picture.
There was an ad the other day I saw above that Ford Blue Oval, that line of those little rectangles. That is all lit up on the electric vehicle. That wraps around the grill. From underneath the turn signal, right or left, it goes all the way across the top. It's lit up in a night shot, and it looks different. I don't want to say menacing, but it just looks different.
It sounds to me like there is trying to go after the Raptor. Because
Raptor
that had
or-
the orange lights through the grill.
Oh, yeah, with
Or the General
yeah.
Motors one, the
Yeah, and I've seen some aftermarket lighting
lost my train of
setups
thought.
like that
I have
for the
too.
Ram truck.
That
you put
can
them in there.
You can put them in yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but when you look at this picture here, the headlights are on the bottom. That upper piece is that neon
the daylight. that they run in.
daytime running light thing that everybody's running
Yeah,
now.
but
The
it just,
Hummer.
it
It's
just
like a
makes it
Hummer.
all together.
Okay,
I have to agree with Don. It looks a little
It's
too much.
It's
out
too
of proportion.
It's disproportionate.
Yeah.
it is. All right.
I'm going to go to the next one.
Well, we're done with the story now, so you don't have to do any of it. As a matter of fact, you need to prepare, sir, for your Jaguar E-Pace.
E-Pace.
Is it E?
Yeah. So
I'm not sure. Because there seems to be some confusion there. What is it actually?
It is an E.
An E-Pace.
E-Pace.
All right.
So
time now for this hour's pre-owned car of the week that Jeffrey Zekin always manages to have for us. And,
sure.
We try to do a couple of new car reviews and a used car review. What year is this thing? A 2019?
Yes, sir. It's a 2019. I'm going to help Conrad out there. Okay, and that's where you do it there. 2019 Jaguar E-Pace.
You know he's going to screw this
up. That's okay. The trim levels available are the E-Pace.
I stopped it.
Trim levels of the E-Pace, which is the basic version of this Jag. The F-Pace, which is the luxury version or more predominantly optioned vehicle. And then the I-Pace Electric, which is the all-electric vehicle. Of course, this is the E-Pace. It's a compact SUV or CUV. 5-passenger vehicle. Now, this vehicle, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this vehicle at all. And you'll hear more about this here in just a second. It's a Euro styling, large fascia. It's got smooth side accents. The vehicle does look nice. It looks pretty, but it just does not impress me. It has nice dual exhaust, and it's, in reading up on this, it says it has a racy exhaust note. It snarls.
That's what they said. It snarls?
That's one of the things that Jaguar's putting out on this vehicle. But again, it is the base version. Typical leather on the inside. You got all the bells and whistles due to Jag. It does not have top-notch materials. It's rated at a 7 3/4 out of 10 votes.
Well, why in the hell are you reviewing this
Because
thing?
I want people to know this. I want people to know this. It's not,
so Jag may be a pacemaker, but this one's a heart stopper.
There you go. And I know about hearts. It's got cramped back seats. It's got confined space for your knees.
Let's just go ahead and rip it.
I'm going to rip a good one.
Do you own one of these?
No,
Let us hear
not.
from you and tell you how much you hate about
Send it to Mike at In Wheel Time. 10-inch touchscreen. It's got glitchy software, sloppy dash design, irregular panel fit.
Well, don't hold back.
I'm not. God. It's a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, 246 to 295 horsepower, depending on your engine configuration, because you can get it in a turbo. Torque is 269 foot-pounds of torque, or in 295 in a newton meter. 9-speed automatic. This is an all-wheel drive vehicle. That's another downer for me. I don't like all-wheel drive vehicles. 21 in the city, 28 highway, 25 combined. 18.1 gallon fuel tank on this rascal. Your options on the tires on the aspect ratio, you can go from 17s to 20s. You've got it's a good driving response according to some of the folks that do own it. Of course, there's a lot that don't. Shares a platform with the Range Rover and Discovery. So it's based on that version you got down in there.
It's the only picture.
So shall we just go ahead and sum it up by saying it sucks?
Well, then there's no current recalls, so I don't understand that. 38
up to you, it would be the whole thing would be recalled.
38 to
We're
52
sorry we
on
sold
the
this thing, and we apologize to anybody that we offended.
Let's send this to Jaguar.
Send it to them.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give this back to you because that's the only live picture we have. The other camera, it went down, and that's why the lights are off on it.
Great.
Wonderful.
So you can look at me.
So we get a picture of Don as he rants and raves about whatever.
Why did that happen?
That's exactly right. And I've had a lot to rant and rave about today, haven't I?
Today
it's been one of those.
It has been one of those kind of days. All right. Well, we're going to let Jeffrey get up and try to fix the camera so we can get the camera system working again. But in the meantime, I did want to tell you that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Nobody's watching anymore after this disaster, but in case you are, the podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Show continues right after this quick break.
Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power in 2020 tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is managed by Lincoln Stahl, a seasoned member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Howdy. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Real Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Let us get right to it because I want to bring in now the fabulous, the effervescent from the Hill Country area of Texas, Mr. Rodney Rodriguez. Good morning, sir. It's good to see you. Look at you. You even shaved and combed your hair this morning. You knew you were going to be on TV with us, didn't you?
Don, I haven't been called fabulous in like forever.
Well,
I think
you know, I'm a member of the Rodney Rodriguez fan club, so I can say that with confidence.
I think I was in court the last time.
Yes, you
trying
were.
to get me off the hook for something, crying out loud.
So I have to tell you that Rodney has a car talk show that's focused more on racing. It's called Revved Up Sports Show, and he does that out of Austin.
Yeah, I'm just north of Austin, over in lovely Round Rock. Round Rock is for lovers, they say. I've never known what that means, but this morning I'm actually over the palatial Westlake Hills area, getting ready for our radio show here at the Horn. So kind of all over the place. So just call me the Austin guy. You know?
The Horn is the FM station there in Austin, and what frequency is it on?
That is on 104.9 FM. You can actually download the Horn app or at hornfm.com. Tune in at 11. I'll get that plug in there. And we're going to talk about the All-Star race and IndyCar, Formula One, and this new SRX series.
That IndyCar race was awesome this year, I thought.
Yep. Wasn't that, you know, it? I've always said, you know, I'm a stock car guy, but to me, the Indy 500 is my favorite race of them all. And that one delivered.
It definitely did. What a reverse of that horrible disaster that NASCAR had at the Circuit of the Americas.
At the boat show?
Oh, my God.
I got to tell you guys, people wouldn't leave. I was on pit road, And I looked like a wet duck out there, and those stands were full, and people were like laying out on the general admission. I could not believe it. So hopefully they come back.
I just don't understand why they continue to race in the rain.
Because
and
that
have
was the new thing.
And have cars running into. I know, but it reaches a point where the rain is coming down so hard that the ducktail on the back of the cars, you can't see. Cars are running into each other.
And I think that was the first time Cup cars ran in the rain. I know they've been prepared to, like at Watkins Glen and Sonoma, but hell, it never rains in Sonoma.
Right.
And I don't think they ever ran. Now, I know the Xfinity cars have and the trucks have, but I think this is the first time the Cup cars ever ran in the rain.
Yeah, and you could tell how concerned those crews were about that possibility, because Kyle Busch, for one, his wiper was on backwards. So like the what wipes was facing upward. Another guy hit his button and the blade flew off. So you could tell how ready they were.
And didn't one of the air ducts was actually bringing water into the car? I remember seeing that on the TV. There was actually, and they had to go tape the air duct off because it was just filling the inside of the car.
And a few weeks ago they ran on dirt, so from one extreme to the other. That I didn't like that part of it either.
Well, you mentioned the SRX series, which is I'm really interested in that because a new thing, and I know I think Tony Stewart,
Ray Abraham and Tony Stewart,
pretty involved in it, and kind of giving. Well, I'll let you give the synopsis of how that's set up to work.
This is really the modern day International Racing Champions, the old IROC thing.
Yes.
Yep.
This is really what they're doing, but they're doing it on short track. So they're trying to get a little flair for what everybody's wanting. They want more short tracks, so we'll give them that. And by the way, they lucked out and got a big contract from CBS to do this. But you've got guys like I talked to Willie T. Ribbs on my show about a month and a half ago. And that dude, he said he's the AARP of this series, and that dude's going to win. That dude's going to win. So it's going to be fun. Kicks off tonight at Stafford.
So the cars they're all equipped basically in the same horsepower, same motor, same chassis, same body style. It's all about the drivers, what it's supposed to be like. Right.
Yeah. It all comes down to car control and so forth.
How many cars are they going to have?
I believe there's 12 to 14. I haven't looked at
That's what I heard as well.
Which would be consistent with the old IROC series. One team preps everybody's car and all the drivers get into different cars. Are they going to move the cars around?
Yes.
Through different drivers over different tracks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so then
You draw for the car on the day of, from what I understand.
Yeah, but they get creative. I mean, I heard a story a couple of weeks ago about Bobby Unser, who just recently passed away, and it was right around the time of the Indy 500. That's a Bobby Unser event right there. And they were talking about one year he was in IROC, and he actually went in and he ran a hot wire. Somehow boogered up the tachometer to where he could get more out of his car, and he won the race. So I'm sure we'll see some of that.
How fun.
If you're winning, you're cheating.
Yeah. And also, what I understand is that they've got a ringer at each track, a professional that's actually won at a specific track. Yeah. They're going to be the ringer that drives that track with all the pros. And, yes, they do switch vehicles every week, and all they do is just change the seats out. Abraham's building the chassis, and I'm not sure who's building all the engines, but they do have that configuration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it'll be fun.
I was going to say. So, I have to tell you that I have got a real bad case of Houston Motorsports Park withdrawals.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that Gina is working on the Mobile track, and I know that you've had, a couple of races over there now, right?
Yeah, 2 of them.
But no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Is that?
It's funny, Don. I get over there and there's some fans over in the infield. But I get over there and I call it just like I do at Houston.
Right.
I'm like, here they. There was even one time where I'm like, stand up and salute the drivers. I'm like, hell, there's nobody here.
Well, and that's an Alabama thing. And,
so they're still under COVID restrictions?
Yeah, it's jacked up. I mean, any way you look at it, because, the racing series depends on multiple methods to bring revenue into the gate, and if you don't have the gate,
Gina just picked the wrong year to start.
Oh my God! Gosh. And all of the expenses in trying to get that track up and running. So, how are things in your eyes over there?
Really good. The folks there in Mobile are just so happy to have the place open, and they're showing up. There's a limited amount of infield tickets that we're selling where folks can actually come in, and that's a big half mile. That's a big half mile track, so it's a bowl. I mean, it's banked all the way around, so there's room, and we're filling the capacity for folks that are able to come and watch. From turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and they're super excited. The car counts are good. We're getting pure stocks and sportsmen. Those are some diehard stock car classes down there. They're showing up really nicely. Trucks are getting stronger, with the tour program that Gina has. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're really pleased. The main thing is the track itself, the pavement and everything. All of that is in good shape. So that's what you need for good racing, and we have had extremely good racing.
Any of the Houston drivers go over there with their rigs?
Yeah, we actually have. We've had Chris Child has made his way over, Greg Davidson, Christopher Hogan. I mean, the Ferrays made their way over for the first race. So
what are they saying about it?
Oh, well, Greg Davidson. I mean, for Greg Davidson's won there before, so he starts telling stories about his past adventures there at that place. But they've done really well. The interesting thing about that place, guys, is it's a half mile. It has a wall along the front stretch and the banking. I mean, seriously, the track is just like this. I mean, I think it's banked 25 degrees. One of the old timers told me. There's no walls on the back stretch and at the turn. So if you miss, your Duke's a hazard, buddy.
Wow.
That actually adds to it, I think. That kind of thing
makes you want to make sure you know where you're parking when you're a visitor. You don't want to park on the outside.
That's on the other side.
I don't think that there's anything back over there except weeds and maybe a creek or two.
There's some massive trees back there, and there was a story years ago. A guy flew over in turn 3. They went to look for him. They couldn't find him. He was in a black car and a black driving suit. Well, they found him. He came walking up, and they said, "Well, where's the car?" And he pointed up. He's like, "It's up there. It's still in the tree."
It's in the tree.
How funny.
Yeah, that's fun. So it's a day's drive to get over there to Mobile. But, I mean, what a great weekend. So, take Friday off. Or take, half a day Friday off, go over to Mobile, get yourself a motel room, get ready for Saturday night racing over there in Mobile.
Yep.
And then you got all day Sunday to get back.
And if the Alabama COVID restrictions are too tight, you can stay in all the casinos there in Mississippi and head on over to Mobile. I don't think it's a far drive to get there from
No. And Mobile, what we're finding, I mean, just from a lot of folks that are making the trip for whatever reason, Mobile, that area there, the track's actually in Irvington, kind of like just a little outskirt thing right there. But Mobile hotels they're always jam-packed. So people are out and about, people are moving around, and that's good as we start to ease out of this. But it really is. It's a fun, day trip, 2-day trip. There's lots of things to do. You can pick up all the sights and sounds, catch a lot like what we do in Houston. I mean, spend the day doing something else, go watch the races, get yourself home, get back to work, and back to the grind on Monday.
Well, I have to tell you that I am missing the Houston race bad. I'm missing you guys. I have so much fun when I go there and get to do the winter interviews after the race, and it's fun. It's fun to work with you, and, we have a good time doing it. It's local racing, to me, at its best.
Well, and then, for those people who are paying attention here in Houston, it's going to be out there at a Houston Motorsports Park July 3rd. Gates open at 5. I think the event starts at 6. I know Gina will have some kind of fireworks show, typically a flyover, and both world famous Rodney and Hall of Famer Don Armstrong will both be there. At the event. Fabulous.
Cutting it up. That's what we're going to be doing. Yeah. Dollar hot dogs and dollar beer. And, there has been rumors that Rodney really gets all of the collection of the dollar beers before he starts the announcing. So at the end of the evening,
he's wasted.
It's tons of fun.
Gives you the A+ effort, and then Don, as you well know, there's always a little Holiday Inn, get together there afterwards.
Yeah, and I've mentioned that on this show before, and it's really fun because
that's where they get the hard liquor out.
Well, there's some of that. But the racers, this goes back to the Meyer Speedway days for me and Gina. And there was an ice house back then. 7-Eleven on the corner could be an ice house, and this was an ice house at the corner of South Post Oak and Main Street, right down the way from Meyer Speedway. And after the race was over there, that place was packed with trailers and race cars and whatever, all the haulers and all the race cars, and everybody went over there. And, they might have had a little scuffle in the infield during the race, but by golly, after the race...
Sit around and tell stories.
Yeah, tell stories, and it's great fun. And, the public is invited to go to that thing at that Holiday Inn parking lot. It's all well lit over there, safe, and the racers are there, the cars are there. It's fun to hang around.
Kind of tilt your head back and drink a little whiskey.
There you go.
There's a lot of that going on as well.
The moonshine.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll work.
Yeah, some moonshine. Well, I guess that would be Mobile, right?
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, but they're running the cars on it too because it's 127 octane.
Exactly. So, Rodney, what are you doing this weekend and the next couple of weeks?
Honestly, I'm off this weekend, so I'm going to check out the All-Star race and SRX. So that'll be good tonight, and then next week, Friday night, I'll be back out in Waco, and I don't know where, Saturday somewhere, but one of these tracks. But just kind of after the Mobile thing, this is a weekend, kind of get caught up on stuff. But I was, that May 29th, the one that we had to postpone, that was so tough because I know the weather there had been horrible. It had been horrible here as well. And, there's so much there. And that's where Gina's struggle is with not owning HMP. I mean, if she owned HMP, she'd have more flexibility there. But when you're renting something and you pay a lease and then you have to cancel an event, that gets tough. And it was a heartbreaker. I know that Saturday wound up being nice on the 29th, but it was just, there's a lot that went into that, and that's where Gina's job. That's where my heart breaks for her. Anytime she's in a position like that, that's such a tough call.
I think the parking lot would have been a big mud puddle too.
Yeah.
Well, the mud puddle and the infield.
Yeah, the track
because
situation.
because the infield is where the emergency vehicles park.
Right.
It's where I hang out listening to Rodney call the play-by-play up there, and it can get ugly down there after 2 weeks of rain.
So, Rodney, is SRX going to be televised?
Yeah, it's on CBS.
Yeah.
So whatever your local CBS affiliate is there, that'll be on this evening. That's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be fun. And then with that All-Star race, the trucks and the Xfinity guys race today at Texas. So I think it's really, I think to NASCAR really quick, I think it's really cool that just in the span of less than a month, we've had the NASCAR Premier Series, all three of them, here in Austin, and now back at Fort Worth. I mean, it really is showing how much of a NASCAR type state Texas is. And these short tracks like Houston and all the dirt tracks, 105 there in Cleveland, all of these tracks around Texas, we benefit from that. People frown at NASCAR, but I mean, seriously, guys, think about it. I mean, when people think racing, they think of the upper echelon, and this is really good for all of our short tracks.
Okay, so let me ask you about your show today. What time's it go on the air again?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. So we go off the air, and he goes on the air up there in the Austin area. And
so we're like the comedy pre-show for him, huh?
That's what it is. So can we stream you on your show?
Yeah, hornfm.com, and you just go up to the top. It says listen live. You click right there, and no guests today. Today, what we're doing is we're recapping. Formula One. I'm a guy that laughs at Formula One because Formula One, it's quite frankly boring. The only other way to put that, but man, Formula One all of a sudden is getting exciting.
Well,
that's because Hamilton's not winning anymore.
Well, it's because Mercedes is struggling, and Honda's spending a lot more money to be more competitive, and now Honda's powering a couple of teams.
Right.
So I think that's what's accelerated Honda, and they said they're going to spend a lot more money this year to be competitive.
And if you need guests, Mike will hook you up. Mike's got some.
He's got a couple of guests that didn't show up today, and he'll be glad to hook you up.
we can kind of feed them over your way.
Don't you love that?
Sure. We got some driving school guys that I'm sure can lead you down the path.
You know, when the guests don't show that, I had a rare instance the other night on Thursday, real fast. I was testing out a new sound filter. You guys will appreciate this because I'm always trying to make the product better for the Monday show.
Sure.
I was testing out a sound filter, and I ran an old interview from Caden Honeycutt. He's a guy there from the area,
right?
That's doing really well, you know, in the Cars Tour and dirt lake models, and he's going to be a NASCAR guy one of these days. So I was just running an old interview of his just to test the sound filters to see what it sounded like over the net. And Honeycutt calls me up. He's like, "Am I supposed to be on?" I'm like, "Dude, you're the only one that's ever done that. People just usually forget and never call."
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, we dealt with that earlier today also with the Ford Motor Company. We're supposed to have an interview, and guess what? Somebody didn't tell somebody else that they were on, and so anyway.
It's all Mike's fault.
Once again, yeah, we got to blame it on somebody.
They were having their nails done.
Yeah, nails.
No, that was me.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know, if you're looking to get your toenails done, Conrad's got a good place here in town.
I got a great place to get a pedicure.
I'll have to remember that coming up before the next race. Maybe I'll go a day early. And
Yeah, exactly.
Just get a full mani-pedi.
There you go.
Rodney, we love you, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got to make this more regular because we really enjoy talking to you. It's fun.
Absolutely, man. Holler anytime, boys. Y'all have a great show, a safe weekend, and be well.
You as well.
Revved Up
Thank
Sports
you, sir.
Show on
Take care.
Down the Horn. Okay, yeah, you do the same. All right. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. You can just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What do you got today?
Well, with the end of automotive history, we talked about Cars was the movie that was released this week in 2006, I think it was. And as I was gathering that information, I wanted to talk about some of the voices of the cars in the movie.
Oh, my God, look at that. Is something wrong with my sight?
No, I think I picked too small a picture, but that's okay. So who was the voice of Lightning McQueen?
That was the one we just saw, the comedian.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, so Owen Wilson, that's not who we saw, but Owen
That's
Wilson.
what I meant.
Yeah, and it's interesting because reading this, there was more people that had been characters on this. Go to the next one. And then the Doc Hudson was Paul Newman.
Right.
And that was his last theatrical event was Cars.
Doing a voiceover.
Before he passed, doing the voiceover. Sally Carrera was Bonnie Hunt in the blue Porsche 911. You know, she's quite famous, done a lot of other stuff. And then,
I don't know her.
And then Tow Mater, or Mater, the tow truck, was Larry the Cable Guy, and you know he's got a very characteristic voice, and he's you could see the family thing, the resemblance of the personality in the vehicle. So who was Ramon?
Is it Cheech or Chong?
Cheech. Cheech Marin was Ramon. Who was Luigi? Luigi should be the next one. Luigi's the little car that owned the tire shop. Do you remember who that was?
No.
Tony Shalhoub, the guy who did Monk for so many years, the TV show Monk. So he was Luigi. And then Flo, with a 60s Dodge Polara, that was Jennifer Lewis. Now, this was Jennifer Lewis before she was Ruby on the current TV hit Blackish. She was Flo on Cars.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know that.
Did not know that either.
And then Phil, oh, no, go to the next. I'm sorry. Michael Wallace was the voice of the sheriff's car. And it was actually his first gig as an actor. I just thought that was interesting because he's not a normal actor, a voiceover guy. I don't know what the connection was for him. Let's see what pops up next. So this is Chick Hicks was or Lightning McQueen's rival, and that was Michael Keaton that did the voice on that. Next should be the Volkswagen bus.
It's coming up.
So who was the Volkswagen bus? George Carlin.
Yeah.
Did the hippie bus.
I didn't know that.
Called Fillmore. And then some of the other people on, you can just let these roll. Richard Petty did himself. His car was called King. Jay Limo was Jay Leno. Bob Cutlass was Bob Costas. Mario Andretti played himself. Junior was Dale Earnhardt Jr. and did a voice in it. Elvis was Sheryl Crow, which I thought was the oddest thing, but that was Elvis. And then some of the other people that are in the voiceovers was Katherine Hellman, John Ratzenberger from Cheers. He did Mac. Jeremy Clarkson from what's the Top Gear. He was a Harv. Tom Hanks was on with a voiceover in it. Tim Allen was on as Buzz Lightyear.
Click and Clack were on there, too.
Click and Clack. Billy Crystal was on it. John Goodman was Sullivan. Darryl Waltrip did a voice on it, and his car was called Darryl Cartrip. Humpy Wheeler, the owner of Texas and Charlotte, he was on as Tex, and Michael Schumacher was on as Ferrari.
LB.
Gina says that Lightning McQueen will be at Houston Motorsports Park for the big race on July the 3rd.
There's the tie-in.
There you go.
We're putting this all together for you, Gina. It's all a setup for Houston Motorsports Park.
July 3rd.
July 3rd.
Days of carrying a red gasoline can down the highway are numbered, but the need for roadside refueling will not go away, even as the world shifts to electric vehicles, which is why a new generation of mobile EV chargers is arriving.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're going to bring my diesel generator on the back of a truck to charge you when you run out of electricity.
The closest experience to the old school red jug is likely Blink Charging Company's portable emergency EV charger. It basically is a gasoline generator with a 25-foot, 240-volt AC charging cord attached. It offers charging at up to 9.6 kilowatts, enough to put a mile of charge into a stranded EV each minute, Blink says.
A mile per minute.
I envision his big brick is what I envision.
I just got done with an electric vehicle, and I have once again convinced myself I don't want one. Thank you. Are you listening, Buzz?
So you have range anxiety.
I still do, yes. It cost me $18 to put basically an hour's worth of charge into the vehicle, and still didn't get it fully charged. General Motors will expand its OnStar Guardian safety app to non-GM owners to help anyone with a smartphone connect with family and friends and quickly access emergency services. The OnStar Guardian mobile app launched for GM's OnStar subscribers in June 2020, but subscribers told the automaker they wanted to connect with loved ones who drove non-GM vehicles. Guardian is the first non-vehicle OnStar application GM has launched in OnStar's 25-year history. There are about 16 million connected GM vehicles in the U.S. and a meaningful number of paying OnStar subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Through the app, which costs $15 a month for non-GM owners, customers can access OnStar safety and security and connect with an OnStar advisor when necessary. Customers can add up to 7 family and friends to the Guardian app.
Oh.
The existing embedded vehicle service is $30 a month.
Well, there you go.
So for that $15 a month, you can add 7 family and friends.
Yeah.
Not for any more money, just for on their base $15.
Yeah.
That's not a bad deal.
I don't think so.
But I need family and friends to do that.
You need to have family and friends to do that.
Well, there is that. You got the family. I don't know about friends. All right. Well, that's it for this portion of the In Wheel Time show. We've got more to come. We invite you to stay with us right after these messages.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U 159 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Lupe Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer car enthusiast and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
I don't know that we're celebrating it or not, but we're 10 years in this award-winning car talk show. It's called In Wheel Time. Today coming to you from Studio A in Texas, USA. I'm not going to let you talk.
I noticed.
Just ahead, we're going to talk to, there's some bit of an argument in the studio of whether it's Peltier or Peltier.
Peltier.
At Evadale Raceway. We're trying to get him lined up right now. Tall Pine of East Texas Drag Strip. We'll take a look at the events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the 2021, what, Mars?
Cadillac CT5V.
Woo-hoo. Do you have that in this?
I do have
machine?
that in there. Yep.
Okay, so here.
So apparently I can't
hold on just a
type
minute.
and write at the same time.
Cadillac CT5V. Okay.
And then you put hubba hubba after that.
Something like that. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, because that's clearly where he was when he helped produce today's program.
Out of this world?
Out of this world. And then there is King Conrad DeLong.
I'm still trying to figure out how we win awards for doing this.
Exactly. Mr. Toenails himself right here. Matter of fact, I think we're going to change it from King Conrad DeLong to Pedicure DeLong.
Or toenail. I can be named after an Alfa Romeo.
That's right, Toenail.
There you go.
The new Alfa Romeo Toenail.
He's not Alpha.
Does anybody, do people not, when they name things,
There's
do they
got to
not?
be an accent or something on there.
It's probably Tonali or something like that.
Yeah, it's
but
gotta be
in the English words, and they're going to sell this car here, it looks like Toenail.
Yeah.
Tonale.
Well, you got to remember, Nova had a weird thing in South America.
A weird meaning, yeah.
And so did Pajero, the Mitsubishi. The Mitsubishi Pajero.
Pajero.
Yeah.
So-
and I called it the Pajero, which is a completely different meaning that we don't even want to go there.
Yep.
But
So, it'll be an interesting thing to do for our Facebook page is some of the just out of their mind car names as well as logos that they've done through the years.
But
Shake on that.
you stop and think about it. Now in today's world, it's a global automobile industry.
Yeah.
So, they may have the same car that goes to South America that's sold here in the United States, but it's called one thing in the United States and something else in South America.
No, very common.
Right.
Australia, same
So
thing.
why don't they do that with the Toenail?
Because it's got a fungus.
Among us.
There are some things that make sense, but that doesn't make sense to me.
It was a music group called Captain and Toenail. Is that?
Captain
and Toenail. That's perfect.
It could be.
Yeah. Well, I think you look back on it now and you'd probably think,
Nah.
I actually paid real green money
To go see him.
to go see the Captain and Tennille in Lake Tahoe because there was nothing else there to see.
Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe. They were
Beautiful
playing.
place.
They were playing in Lake Tahoe, and I have to tell you that I was, to say the least, disappointed.
Oh,
Really?
It was not a show like you would expect.
didn't get backstage.
If
did
you went to see Barry Manilow, now that's a show. It's a show orchestra. The whole thing is a show. It's highly produced. But you go and you see a female singer and her husband at the time playing the piano, who has this room has more personality than he does.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
We win awards for this.
We do.
And they made millions. There's something wrong with this picture.
It's backwards.
Sorry. I digress.
Oh, we like it, though. This whole show has digressed.
In Lake Tahoe, of all places, which is like 3 hours from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you really got to want to go to Lake Tahoe to get there. Stunningly beautiful location.
I understand that they actually have an airport there.
Yeah, they do.
But I can't imagine where or how.
Well, the easier thing would be to fly into Reno and then drive.
No,
down
it's
to Tahoe.
not the easy thing to do, because that's what I did.
Oh.
Then you have to drive 3 hours to go up the mountain to get up there where the
Through the
volcano used to be.
Yeah.
That is the deepest lake in the world. It's like 600 plus feet.
Well, I would believe it, because the water is crystal clear, but you look in there and it's black because it's so deep
And
down
it's
in
cold.
there.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
But they say down there, you said it is the caldera of a volcano.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what else is up on North Lake Tahoe?
Squaw Valley,
Well, I don't know about that,
the ski resort.
but I can tell you that is also the filming location for the outside shots of Bonanza.
Right. Yeah, that's on the northeast side of it. And then straight north is where they filmed The Godfather Part 2 when they dumped Fredo in Lake Tahoe.
Is that where it was?
Yeah, there's actually there is a
Is it Fredo or
home
Guido?
Fredo. There's a home there that was used in the filming, and that's where the boat went out when they put cement shoes on Fredo and fed him to the fish.
Well, they shot him. Well, Michael shot him first, and then dumped him in there.
Hoss Cartwright was on The Rifleman the other day.
Hoss Cartwright was quite known. He did some Corvette commercials as well.
Yeah, he did truck commercials too.
Well, I think you're talking about that 60s. Back in the 60s, the car manufacturers got into this full line, basically presentation of their entire lineup of cars.
See the USA in your
Chevrolet.
There you go.
That would be Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore, yeah.
And that would be George Skelton's aunt or something flying the plane over the top. So there's the tie back. There you go, George. I'll give you one there. Thank you.
Yeah. So, how are we looking down there, Mr. Mars?
Well, we've got
We see
audio,
his-
but
we
we've
see
got
his
a
name on the
video
screen.
problem.
Yeah, we had him and then we lost him.
But can we talk to him
Well, I'm
while you
working on
work
that.
on his video?
I'm working on
Oh,
that.
look, there he is.
Ta-da.
Maybe. No.
No, that's somebody else.
He's at the track.
No, you know who that is? That's Conrad's toenail person.
There you go.
You've dialed the wrong number again, Mr.
Again.
Mars.
I don't think so. No, his shirt says Evandale.
Let me ask you something.
Evadale, not Evandale. There's no in there.
Do you actually have one person that you go see at the toenail shop?
Yeah, because none of the rest of them would touch my toes. Yeah, Ralph, she used to have a shop that had multiple girls worked in it. Now
I'm having trouble sitting next to you.
Since COVID, it's just down to Cindy.
I noticed that you are leaning kind of toward me.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
But now Cindy is the sole.
Are you going to call her right now?
Right now.
No, but we're going to give her phone number out.
Oh, my God. Don't. Well, you go there if you want to. But I don't want anybody touching my feet.
I don't either.
Especially the same person that touches his feet.
Exclusive nails in the vintage
Oh, dear God.
area. Exclusive nails by Cindy, 832-465-5929.
And Randy Borcherding with Paint House has offered to make exclusive colors for that.
Cindy's exclusive nails.
Yes.
He doesn't have spray out sheets. He's got toenail spray outs.
toenail spray outs.
It's like Bigfoot
Yeah.
with these claws on it.
All right, guys. I'm
This poor guy's on the other end of this.
He's on the other end. He's shaking his head.
What did I
kind of
join
going,
into?
What in the world are y'all doing, and what are y'all talking about?
Well, we're trying to pad the time because Mars can't seem to get his act together down there at the other end.
It's
Well,
one
while
of
we're
those
padding
days.
time,
All right,
did you hear this?
Well, I think Gary, can you hear? You're there, aren't you, Gary?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
So, Gary, with the argument that we had
go
before
to
you
Gary.
joined us, is it Gary Peltier or Peltier?
The first pronunciation was correct. Everybody says Peltier, but it's actually pronounced Peltier. That's French. That's coon ass as you can get.
Well, yes, because my dad had a friend, one friend, over there in Louisiana, and his name was Peltier, and it's spelled just like yours. And so I thought, it's got to be Peltier. And you're close to Louisiana, so I figured, well, what the heck.
Yes.
The Eva Dale Raceway. It's a drag strip. Is it cut in the pine trees out there?
That it is. We were originally concepted as a private airport.
Wow.
And that went away, and it stayed stagnant for a while. And then it was after a car show and cruise night in a local adjacent town, and got with the owner and said, hey, let us come out here and make a little bit of money. And it spread through wildfire like that car show and cruise night. And we waited like an hour and 45 minutes to get in the gate the very first night. That's how far backed up it was.
How cool is that, though? Obviously, you fulfilled a need up there. So are you running cars every weekend up there?
Yes, sir. We try to race every weekend. In fact, this weekend it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
It's the Show Me the Money Index Series.
That is correct. We're paying out $7,000 tonight.
Whoa.
Wow, just tonight.
Just tonight.
Is there a place for spectators?
Yes, we have. We actually have some unique grandstands. We got grandstands on both sides, but there was a facility in Beaumont years ago that was torn down, a Coliseum, and we got the center section out of this Coliseum, and right where the monster trucks would drive through the middle of the grandstands and come out into the Coliseum.
Yeah.
We got that section, and we've actually put it right over the drag strip. So it's just a few hundred yards behind the burnout box.
Oh, so you can look
that's
down
cool.
the track from the spectators. It's kind of like
And you could get
the
all
suites.
those little bitty
Yeah,
spots
yeah.
of rubber all over your face.
Get a face full of smoke. Yeah.
Get you right up into action. The bleachers are pretty high up off the ground, so it kind of keeps you away from that and then say a couple hundred yards back. But it's got a unique feel like no other track that I've ever been to.
Gary, explain to everybody. Now, we're coming from Houston. So how would we get to Evadale Raceway?
It's very easy. I-10 east until you get to the Vider exit. You're going to take the Vider exit, and you have to forgive me on the exit number. And when you take that Vider exit heading north, it is actually 15 minutes. You can turn left into the track.
Wow.
Oh, well, that's not bad at all.
That's pretty
So
close.
that's the Vider exit. That's for the main street in Vider, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is 105.
Yeah, that's 105. And then the next exit is Highway 12. So if you get to Highway 12, you went too far, you need to back up one. Okay.
That is correct.
Oh, there you go.
So all I can think of is a drag strip that I used to hang out at when I was in high school called East Tex Dragway. And it was up on US 59 and just north of what is now Kingwood. None of that was up there. And 59, I think back then at that time, was only a two-lane
Yeah, it was
road that
two-lane,
went up to the Piney Woods. But I will tell you that this particular drag strip was cut into the pine trees. And it was just wide enough for the strip, the return road, and when you got down toward the start line, there was just enough room for, I don't know, some real small bleachers, maybe 10 rows of bleachers for people to sit. And if you wanted to park your car, not race your car, but park and be a spectator, you parked underneath the pine trees all around.
Yeah.
And that's what, from what you've described to me, that's kind of like what you got going on up there.
It brings back the memories.
Yes, it has the same feel, just in the woods type track. And so we converted it over from airstrip. So it still has that old-timey hot rod gasser feel to it, if you will.
Oh, cool.
Do you have any gassers that run out there?
We do, and we do have a couple of events that kind of cater to those guys. And I've also kind of switched gears a little bit. I also got another facility in Lufkin, Texas, which is an hour and a half north from Evadale. And our next nostalgical class will be July 17th at Pine Valley Raceway. We're going to have outlaw fuel altereds. We're going to have some top fuel Harleys, and we even have some vintage top fuel Harleys.
That is cool. I mean,
I've got a friend that races up at your Lufkin location. Rick Mortimer, he runs his 55 Chevy up there all the time.
Well, I mean, to me, this is a great day trip. Drive up there, go to the races, and if you need to, drive back or go find you a hotel or motel somewhere. I mean, it's fun stuff. Do you race on like a Sunday afternoon?
We try not to do a lot of stuff on Sundays, although we do have 3-day events here and there. This weekend, on our Sunday, we have a car show, a truck show, bike show, and then a sound off, or crank it up contest, if you will. There's a local club out of Beaumont, Texas, that's coming. That's
Team Bass Outlaws,
like a cackle fest.
The SummerSlam 2K21 car show and sound off is tomorrow.
See,
yes, sir.
We have an event that we're going to tomorrow. It's a event here at Bayway Chevrolet down in Pearland, and it's a charity event. It's for Wheelchairs for Warriors. So that's going to be 2 to 6 tomorrow. Otherwise, I might have to take me a trip up there to Lufkin or over to Evadale Raceway. Because from my experience, the cars there are different than the cars here.
Absolutely.
And it's a whole different set of guys out there enjoying their cars and taking them down the drag.
They come up out of the woods, but he does get some draw out of Houston and some from over in Louisiana because he's so close to the line.
Yes, sir, that's correct. In fact, like today's event for this index series that we're doing, we do it once a month throughout the whole year, and there'll be cars from several surrounding states that'll show up for this.
So do you draw heavily from Louisiana as well?
Yeah, some nights we have more Louisiana spectators and Louisiana race cars. Just depends on what's going on, but we're so close. We're like 40 minutes from the state line.
Oh, okay.
The exit is exit 860 off of I-10 in Vidor, and just turn north, and what you said is about
15 minutes.
15 minutes north.
Yeah.
Off of exit 860. Pretty easy to do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it will it's been years since I've been out there, don't get me wrong, but it will remind you so much of being at Porter and in those days whenever you could just go racing for fun, and you just did it because you could.
Yeah. Well, it sounds.
We try to be a big family facility. We do a lot of stuff with the kids, even during the night, during the race. We'll stop and we'll put the kids on big wheels, or we have a junior dragster program that we do, and we just, like I said, we try to be a family facility. We don't sell alcohol or nothing like that. So,
is the track lit?
Yes, absolutely.
It is.
It's just not the people.
It was an airport, so that it's got lighting.
Very nice. Well, I'm thrilled. Mr. Mars set this up, and I thought, well, wait a minute. I've never heard of Evadale Raceway. Well, now I have. And also Pine Valley Raceway up in Lufkin.
And your Show Me the Money Index Series is a monthly event, from what I can see.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it repeats every month. I'm assuming it's about the third Saturday of every month.
Yeah. Well, fun times to be had by all. There's no doubt about it. Well, Gary, it's great to talk to you, and I assume that there's a Facebook page or a website or something like that.
It's already posted on our Facebook page.
You can check out all our events on both our Facebook pages, so Evadale Raceway or Pine Valley Raceway, and you keep current with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I've already got Evadale. I'll put Pine Valley up on our Facebook page as well.
Like I said, we have everything from some new age stuff all the way to nostalgical events. Like last night we try to do first Friday of the month. We do what we call Friday night call-outs, and it's for daily street cars, trucks, and bikes. And we just do this to help keep the young ones from racing on the street. Yeah. It got so bad in Beaumont, Texas, and they had an incident that it just kind of compelled us to do this. So we lowered the price. It's $10 to get in. It's $10 if you want to race. And if you keep your wristband, you get in tomorrow for the same price.
Oh,
and
wow.
We pretty much turn this facility over to these guys on Friday night. They do dig races, roll races, third honk races, everything they would do on the street, but we give them a safe facility to do it at.
So if you need to classify cars, is there somebody there that puts you in a class if you don't know what your class is?
Yes, absolutely. And then on this Friday night call-outs, like I said, it's all daily, like stuff that these guys drive back and forth to work every day.
So you could bring the vet, Don, and have no class.
Oh! so it's basically like grudge racing, grudge matches and stuff. So
yes, absolutely.
That's sort of what you see on these TV
there's
shows.
No timing system.
Just first man to the end.
For the Friday night call-outs, there's no timing system and no flashlight. It's a flashlight start, so there's no timing system and no prep, and so it's just like these young ones are on the street. So kind of give them that same feel.
Explain the flashlight start, because you don't see that very often. Not on a track.
It's just like you see on TV on Discovery Channel for like the Street Outlaws. Yeah, same thing. In fact, I had one of those guys testing there last night. I had Scott Taylor from New Orleans. I have several of those Street Outlaw people come and test with me during the middle of the week, and then I have 2 to 3 events that I do with them a year that really draw a huge spectator crowd.
Oh, well, you need to let us know when you're going to have one of those, because I'd sure love to come out and see it. I know Scott Taylor's got a Track Doe, which is his Firebird, but my favorite car of his is John Doe, which is his Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, which has very little Oldsmobile and no Cutlass Supreme.
Scott was with us all day yesterday with Track Doe car.
How fun.
Cool.
In East Texas, at Evadale Raceway.
Right.
I'll let y'all know, man. I'd love to have y'all, and I'll definitely let y'all know when the next Street Outlaw event is coming up, and I'd love to have y'all come in.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. And, we'll bring the ice chest full of ice and lots of Gatorade, because it's going to be a little toasty around those parts.
Well, it's closer to Mars's house. We'll have to drive all the way out there then.
Yeah,
now we get to know what he feels like. Get a 2.5 hour head start.
Yeah, that's right. 2.5 hours.
Show.
Gary, it's great to talk to you, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today. The Pine Valley Raceway and the Evadale Raceway, they're up on our website, and we hope to see you again soon.
Racing in the Pine Woods.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
You do the same.
Thanks.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize the track had that big a draw. That's pretty cool.
But what else is around there? There's nothing. So, guys that are into cars, I mean, they're all working guys.
Oh, yeah, looking for a
but
track.
Listen to the story.
The only track over in Lake Charles is they use the old Air Force base. They used to drag race there, but now it's strictly sports cars.
That's the story. It was an abandoned airfield.
Well, it is, yeah, but so
they brought that back to life in their own way.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Well, cool. Yeah, we need to get Mars to connect with him, and next time they have the Street Outlaws
and if
guys
nothing
go out
else,
there and
what we could do is after this show, we just gang up and go on over there.
Yeah, because particularly this time of year, they're running mainly in the evenings and at nights because of the heat. It's awful warm in them pine trees. There ain't no breeze.
I can't be in a gang.
You're in a gang, whether you like it or not.
An award-winning
If you
gang.
haven't figured out
much less with a bunch of sweaty men.
there is that.
All right.
All right. Are we ready to do the events calendar? Because there's events. We got an event tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
We have a big event tomorrow down at Bayway Chevrolet. It is Wheelchairs for Warriors fundraiser and car show. The car show starts at 2, but you want to get there earlier than that so you can get yourself registered. Mm-hmm. And it goes to 6 p.m. And it's going to be, the display area is going to be, as you look at Bayway Chevrolet, it's going to be on the left side or the west side over where the used cars are. They're going to kind of clear the lot out for the show. Yep. There's going to be a bunch of food trucks there, and we'll be there. We'll be there from 2 to 5 broadcast.
So if you go, well, I don't see them. Well, we're going to be right back there behind the used car office. And
so they're going to put us in the corner.
Put
baby in the corner.
I'm used to that.
Yeah. So we'll be there.
Oh, yeah. So come on out and say hi.
2 to 6.
Bring a cool car. We'll put you on the air.
Yep.
Come on out and tell us what kind of car you brought, and we'll be happy to put you on the air and talk to you. If Mars can find you and get you to show up on time for the interview, we'll be happy to.
Little dig there.
What are you trying to say?
Of course, the car may be something completely different than what he has written down, but whatever. All right.
What are you trying to say?
Please continue.
Well, some of the other stuff that's coming up is Saturday, July 21st in Cold Spring is their truck and bike show at the Cold Spring, Texas Community Center. And then, in September 25th, Woody's third annual waterfront car show at Topwater Grill, and we'll be there as well.
Yes. We'll actually be
live.
there this year. We're not going to try to do that hanky-panky that we did last year that just didn't work out.
And then, of course, next weekend is Tailpipes and Tacos at Lupe Tortillas
in Katy, Texas.
At Kingsland and 99. And but they're also going to have
2 other locations
at the I'm going to say downtown, but
it's called the
Greenway Plaza.
Well, it's called Westview location, and the other one's out in Tomball.
Up in Tomball.
Out there by you.
Very close to me. I keep waiting for us to do our show from there, so I don't have to wake up an hour early.
No hanky-panky, but there will be hokey-pokey.
And if you don't like it, you can turn yourself around.
There you go.
And then racing calendar.
If you want to.
Yeah, sure. So today or tomorrow is going to be the Tasca Parts New England Nationals. Erica Enders, as of last night, was qualified 3rd in Pro Stock. And then on June the 27th is Summit Racing Nationals in Norwalk. On the 18th is the SRT Mile High Nationals at Bandimere. NASCAR is tomorrow night at Texas for their All-Star race, but they're going to be racing trucks and Xfinity today. And then on the 20th, at Nashville Super Speedway with the Cup cars.
Yep.
First time they've been to Nashville in forever. Formula One is going to be on June the 20th at Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. The following week on the
Paul
20th.
Ricard, isn't it?
Yeah, Richard. Tomato.
Okay,
And then on the 27th, they're going to be in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Today and tomorrow,
I want to go to the nose ring.
The toe ring.
Belly ring.
The toe ring, yeah.
No, belly
That's
button
your
ring.
that's your cup of tea there.
Belly button.
And then today and tomorrow, Detroit at Belle Isle.
Yep.
The Detroit Grand Prix. And actually, the Corvettes are qualified 1st and 2nd in the GTP or GTLM.
I got to cut you off now because I know that Mars is going to go long with his review of the Cadillac CT5, which was not scheduled to run today. That's going to be tomorrow's, but because Mr. Mars misread, I guess. I don't know what happened. Did you go over there?
I'm going to have to look at that.
Did you smoke something?
I haven't smoked
and didn't share with the rest of us.
I got to look at that. I'll have to look and see what I sent you.
It's a typo.
It's not what I have written down.
It's a typo.
Becky Mars is watching.
I know. That's why I'm not admitting to anything.
Well,
Gina, hi Gina.
I'm not exactly sure what I did with it. I've got it somewhere, but
Look at this. This is
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
It's mine.
I've got written right here.
Jeff, you're not helping, Jeff.
612, and right there you'll notice that it says Mercedes-Benz E450. That's what I have here.
I can't see that from here.
Here, pass that down.
No, I don't have time to mess with that. I got to review.
Well, no, I
to do
think
here.
Made enough mistakes.
I think what we've done is we've just canceled that car
We have
review.
now gone over.
And we're
Becky will remind him of more things when he gets home this
We
afternoon.
have gone over
trust
the
me,
time.
I will.
Okay, for the bottom of the hour break.
Go ahead, Mars.
So
Just whatever
my
damn,
review.
whatever
We've
damn
only
car
got
you
3
got.
minutes now.
Yeah.
Tick-tock, because I'm going to cut you off.
2021 Cadillac CT5 V Series rear-wheel drive vehicle. We're talking about a luxury midsize sedan. Some people may call it a small vehicle, but it's pretty big for being in that category. It has a long, lean, to me, it's an almost coupe-like look to it, very angular, wedge shape to it, and I really like it because of the long hood, the short deck lid in the back, very performance-oriented. It's got a mesh performance grille up front because it is the V Series. Got body color side moldings, rear tail spoiler, LED lighting all around, and it's vertical lighting in the front and in the rear of it, and that makes a big difference to the way it looks going down the road because it stands out real well. V-Series got Bimbo brakes on it. We're rolling on some 19-inch alloy wheels that are optional with wait a minute. What did I say?
Bimbo.
You said bimbo.
Bimbo.
It's Bimbo. And the word of the day is stripper.
There it goes. So it's Brembo brakes to stop the 19-inch alloy wheels with run flats on them. And I'm not a big fan of run flats, but I didn't even notice these were being very harsh which is my problem with them.
It's a stiff sidewall.
Runs flats.
So I'm going into the interior now, leaving y'all leave me alone. So the front seat, it's a semi-aniline leather seating. The front seats and the rear seats are heated and ventilated. The rear seat is a split folding seat. It's got an interior lighting package on it, a Bose 15-speaker audio system in it, a 10-inch touchscreen for you're going to find all your convenience controls and stuff in the center stack. Got a 12-inch digital instrument cluster and a heads-up display on it that's got lots of stuff on it. Some of it I still haven't figured out. We had several different packages on this interior thing. We had the Platinum package, Premium package, and the Technology package. So it brought in a lot of features and a lot of things, a lot of technology in here. One thing is the trunk on this thing is only 11.9 cubic feet, but it opens wide up, almost 90 degrees, and I like that. I hate hitting my head when I'm trying to put stuff in there. So you can put a lot of stuff in here even though there's not a lot of room in there. Now, up under the hood, it's got a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6. Now, this version of it has 360 horsepower, 405 pound-feet-pound of torque, and it's backed by a 10-speed automatic. I'm going to get to this in. And the EPA says you should be looking for 18 in the city, Highway 27, and combined 21. I got 19 because this thing runs on premium fuel, and it's got a launch control, and it's got a traction management system that's very similar to the Corvettes on it. So it's very much that V-Series brings in some performance into this luxury sedan, which is really nice because it's a smooth, quiet, Cadillac comfortable ride, I think. But it's got performance to it. I mean, it's not a race car. It's not like the big hopped-up one, but it's very performance-oriented, and when you drive it, you feel like you're driving a hot rod instead of a little bit of a luxury car. If you're looking for something to compare it to, you're going to look possibly at the Genesis G70. There's a lot of them out there. It starts at $46,200 plus options. BMW 3 Series, you can get in there at $41,250 plus some options. An Audi A4 at $48,785 plus options. Even a Volvo starts at $48,000. So you can get a base CT5V for $47,795 as the starting point. However, we had some options, as I mentioned. We had several of the technology packages and things like that. That pushed the MSRP as tested up to $63,445 in a car that if I had the money, I would consider buying.
The end.
The In-Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this break.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Let's get right to it, shall we? Joining us via Zoom is Angelica Brothers with Haggerty Insurance. Where in the world are you?
I am in a parking lot in an undisclosed location. I'm just leaving Cypress Cars and Coffee on 290 near 99. It was an awesome show, but it was so hot out there. So I stopped by to enjoy the AC and talk to you.
Is that like a witness protection program?
Yes, it's a witness.
Undisclosed location.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. How have you been? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know. It's been a long, long time. But I'm getting back out to the car shows now. Now that we're back in full swing.
Are you coming to Tailpipes and Tacos next weekend? Are you going to be at the what?
I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be going to the kickoff of the Great Race in San Antonio. So I'm going to be setting up the Haggerty booth at the Alamo. I think it's at the Alamo. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
Well, what about tomorrow?
Yeah, I know. Mike told me about it. I have one more event that I have to go to, but if I can swing it, I'm definitely going to go by.
No, hell no, you're going to be there. Because
okay,
we're there till 5. I mean,
yeah. Well, no, the show is 2 to 6.
Well,
2 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the
important people,
dealership's 2 to
us,
6.
we'll be there from 2 to 5.
The important people. Yeah.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have
All
witness
right.
protection.
Yeah, we can
you.
be here
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
need it.
Tomorrow's witness protection program. So
Yes.
and I know that you'll be serving mimosas tomorrow afternoon to cool us all off.
Of course.
I think I'd just take ice water.
Minus the orange juice.
Yeah, just lots of ice. That's for sure. Okay, so
That's it.
let's talk about Haggerty Insurance, and
Let's do it.
For those people that are joining us and really don't know too much about Haggerty Insurance, it's not an Allstate, it's not a Piedmont, it's not anything that you're probably familiar with. So please tell us what Haggerty Insurance is.
All right. Well, Conrad is very familiar with it, so if I miss anything, Conrad, you help me out. But
You're the representative.
You actually have client experience. I'm still waiting to get my own collector car. But what Haggerty does is we insure collector cars. So that's all we do. We specialize in it. It's our niche, and we only focus on covering collectors, whether that's an exotic or a classic car. We even do motorcycles are collectible, retired military vehicles, boats, but our main product is going to be, the classic car.
So collector vehicles running or not. So where do you fit into that?
Yeah, thank you.
Both. So if you have one that you're restoring, you can insure it while you're restoring it. And that way, anything you've invested into it is going to be covered for that amount.
There you go, Conrad.
Yeah, our best feature is that we have something called agreed value. So whatever your car is worth, your policy is going to say it's worth this much. We talked to you about it. We agree with you on that value. And if you have something terrible happen and you have a total loss, you're going to get that amount. So nobody's going to be depreciating that car or, trying to negotiate with you to pay less than what it's worth.
But
so that's the biggest difference.
But this coverage is significantly less than you would go to Allstate and get it. Yeah, right. The cost.
The cost, yes, because we only focus on the collector vehicles and we know how well they're taken care of by their wonderful owners. The risk is obviously less than the car that you drive every day when you're commuting, and we're able to keep the premiums a lot lower than what you would pay to a regular company.
There's mileage restrictions on
But
what
I'm just going to say, but there are certain parameters that the car has to fall into.
Yeah.
We do have underwriting guidelines, but honestly, we're very, very flexible. Our goal is to make sure that our members enjoy their cars. So if you told us that you only drive it 3,000 miles a year, but 1 year you're invited to do a rally across the country and you go above that mileage, that's fine. It's not a deal breaker or anything like that. And we don't have restrictions as far as how you use the car. If you want to take it to the grocery store, that's where you're going, and you want to drive it, that's fine. It doesn't have to be just a car show or a car parade or anything like that.
Well, one of the other things I really like about Hagerty is you can put your project car on Hagerty. So let's say, you buy a garage beater, and you're going to take, like we talked to Randy Borcherding, you're going to take a couple of years to build it. You can have it insured and have that value increase at that agreement. So the car's insured, even though it's in parts in your garage, as well as all of the parts and all of the tools that you're using to restore the car can all be covered on the same insurance policy.
Yeah, that's great.
So the car doesn't even have to be on the road, that they're going to come up with a policy that's going to fit your needs. And I think that's the coolest thing about it.
The car's got to be 20 years old, right?
It doesn't. We do new cars too.
Because they do the exotics.
Oh.
Yeah. So if the car's a 2021, I don't know if 2022 cars have come out, but if it's a 2021, we can insure it as long as it's a collectible and it's not your daily driver or your primary car. So
it would be so a C8 Corvette, for example. If you're driving it every day, then that wouldn't qualify. Wouldn't qualify.
No. If that is the car that you take to and from the office, that's not going to qualify. But if it's your fun weekend car, we can definitely do it.
Well, what about my 2001 Corvette?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know that the problem is if you don't have another car and another policy, that's where we run into issues. So it can't be the only car. And I know you get a lot of cool cars to drive all the time, Don, but I'm working on it. I promise.
You are
I'm
not.
Don,
don't lie to me.
I've been
asking. I'm gonna start calling you Mrs. Mars because you lie to me like Mars does. So there's that.
No,
Don runs into problems all the time.
You have to have another car insured somewhere else.
So let me ask you something. So if
your daily driver,
if you are supplied by your employer with a car, I guess that doesn't count either.
No, that does count as long as you have another car and we know that there's another policy with a primary.
Well, every car that I drive has its own policy. The only difference is that I just get a different one every week.
Right. It should be the same car permanently. That's the problem.
Well, I don't know who the hell came up with that rule, but you tell them I don't like it.
If all of us had, if all of us had,
it wasn't me.
Yeah.
If all of us had Don's problem of somebody giving us a brand new car once a week to test drive,
I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, you should.
So sad for you.
Yeah, but he's a classic.
Sad.
He's a classic and an exotic.
That's coming from the girl who goes to all of these exotic car shows and gets to go on fun rides with all these owners and stuff as she's selling insurance, driving with some guy in his Lamborghini going down the highway.
So
I didn't think that through, Conrad.
We all have a cross to bear in life.
All right, so let's just take a 2021 McLaren, okay? A 20.
Ooh, that's a touchy subject, but go on.
Well, why? Okay, well, let's stop right there. Why is that a touchy subject?
Don
McLarens are very, very tough to insure right now, and unless you've owned a McLaren for at least a year and you have experience driving it, we can take a look at it, but you have to pretty much have a perfect driving record and meet a lot of other criteria, but it's McLaren specifically.
So it's because the car tends to be way more than the driver's capable of.
Correct. And I don't know the statistics as far as claims and accidents go, but I'm sure the actuaries are taking a look at that. And unless you've owned one for at least a year, then it's going to be tough.
And like the McLaren customers and the Viper customers and the older Supra customers, they know when one of them gets totaled in how many of their style was built. So now, I may have been one of 8 and one got totaled. Well, now I'm one of 7 because that other one's gone forever. And that's actually in the McLaren world is a thought process that they go through because they build very short build cycles of their vehicles, and they don't make a bazillion of them, so they know that there's only so many of them are out there in a period of time, and when one goes away, everybody knows about it. And I think we might have just lost Angelica. Are you still there? Nope. I think we might have lost her. Mars dropped her again.
Oh,
I didn't touch it.
No, he didn't touch it.
No, we're just going to continue the theme. It's Mars' fault. He gives us wrong information and all of that.
I agree with that today.
Are you feeling like you're right at home?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
We should insure Don because he's an exotic classic.
I am.
But George said
and he's over 20.
You should ask about your Chevette, Don.
My Chevette. I've never owned a Chevette.
Or your Pajero.
No, I don't have that. We haven't talked to them in a long time.
I was thinking that the other day too.
We need to because the last time we talked to them, there was snow on the ground up there in the Great Northwest,
and their city is still burning.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be Portland.
Yeah.
Are they in Portland?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I thought they're in Seattle.
I thought they were Seattle too. But whatever, it doesn't make any difference. They're out there on the left coast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
North left.
Yes. But we, would love. What is their names?
Mercedes and Andy.
Mercedes and Andy.
Pajerno.
No, it's not. See,
Lilienthal.
Thank you. They're always making fun of me.
Well,
in my memory.
They were actually in Austin here
me.
not long ago.
Yeah, they did make a
doing
trip.
a drive down. They came in and there was another import that was coming in that they were going to start to bring into the country. And so they were down here doing a quick test drive.
And they didn't stop by and see us?
Well, it was one of those, best I could tell, they kind of came in on Tuesday, drove on Wednesday, and they were out of here.
Well, remember, they would be very good Haggerty customers because they're always looking to buy that 20-year-old or older Japanese domestic market vehicle.
Yes, but they drive them too much.
Oh, well, but they have other cars.
It's like a 5,000 mile a year.
Well,
kind
she
of
said
limit.
36 to whatever they agree upon. Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's about 5,000 miles a year.
Gino, we crack ourselves up, too.
Well, yeah.
She's back.
Is she back?
Well, let's see. Let me make sure we got the audio. No.
Yeah. We're going to wind up with audio from Mars or something.
Mike Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So Becky's going to be talking to us. We'll all be in trouble.
No, it's all his fault.
Becky likes you? Becky can't like you. She knows you.
That's true. She does know me.
She's seen you drinking.
Yeah, at least she saw it.
She
saw me.
Yeah,
okay, well, you're back now. Did your battery die?
No, apparently my phone overheated. I told you it was hot.
Yeah, you're holding it up there in the sun. It'll do that. It will.
I'm about to fix it. I'm covering it up. How's that?
Put it in front of the AC vent.
Yes, good idea.
So
Done.
Yes.
There you are.
There you go. Let's put it in front of the AC
Sorry
vent
about that.
so the air goes across the microphone. We can't hear what she's saying.
I really went away because Don was yelling at me.
I'm not yelling
My
at you.
feelings got hurt.
Now you know how we
That's
feel.
the truth.
Every Saturday,
He does
that's
it
how
to
we
us
feel.
all the time. He's like the team mom.
That's right. I am
That's
the den mother.
Yeah. Trying to herd cats here on the show.
We're going to sneak out at night.
So how much less is Haggerty Insurance than, say, for instance, Allstate?
Or any of them.
Well, it depends, but our average price for a classic car is about $500 to $600 a year.
A year. Some
Yes.
people are spending $500 to $600 a month to insure their cars.
Yes, they are.
With a payment, too.
And,
Yeah, back in the day.
But that's somewhat the difference between your daily driver that's exposed to idiots on the road versus your classic car that they try and limit your exposure, but there's still idiots on the road. I'm always seeing these pictures of somebody whose 69 Camaro got smashed from the rear because somebody was looking at the car and not thinking about stopping.
Well, either that or their phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, the phones. But it depends. And like Conrad said, if your regular insurance company is great to handle your daily driver, but obviously it's more risk. You're out there all the time.
So
that's going to be more expensive.
So who do you call to get Haggerty insurance? You don't call you.
You can call me. I can get it done, except for you, Don. 'Cause you don't have.
And if Don
Everybody else can call me though.
And if Don buys a McLaren, you still can't help him.
And he needs to get done.
No.
But I mean, do you write the policy or does somebody else write the policy?
No. The way it works is if somebody calls me and wants to get a quote, I get their information, but I have an underwriter that I actually work with, and he's assigned to the whole state of Texas. So he handles all of our new business. But we also have the 800 number, and you can talk to any of our licensed agents at the 800 number. They're all remote right now because of COVID, so we have people all over the country. And then we have the website as well, so you can go on, create your own quote, and a lot of times it's going to get issued right then and there through the website. If an underwriter has questions about your car, they'll give you a call and complete that application.
So they don't actually have to look at the vehicle. They can go off of information that you send them?
Most of the cars that we insure, we don't have to have pictures on anymore if they fit the perfect profile. So if you have, a true classic, the example I always use is like a 65 Mustang, and it's not modified, it's stock, we don't need pictures. If it's something that's highly modified or, we just have more questions about it, we'll ask you for, front and back pictures, maybe pictures of your trunk to make sure you don't have nitrous oxide in there or any other kind of special
modifications,
extra horsepower, But,
so you
we
mean
make it easy.
So nitrous.
Yes.
Do you not insure cars that have nitrous?
No.
Okay.
Too risky. They go too fast.
But somebody that's got a modified engine, maybe even a blown engine, with a blower on it, you'll
those definitely have to be underwritten a little bit more, and
but it's possible
some of them may be tough. It's possible.
Yeah, because you get into like 32 Fords and stuff. Blowers are real popular, sticking up out of it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not a definite no, but if you have a question, we definitely have underwriters to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Interesting.
But we do have limitations on horsepower at a certain, level. But most classics are pretty easy to insure. And we never ask for appraisals either. So that makes it a lot easier because you don't have to pay. I don't know what an appraisal goes for, but I've heard they're over $300. So
definitely over.
So scenario is I'm at a Mecum or I'm at a Barrett Jackson and I buy a $200,000 car, and the first thing I'm going to do is look for transportation and insurance. So is that something you can do there on the spot?
Most of the time we can. If it's a Sunday, it may be a little tough. If it's, if you need to get it the same day, just because we don't have anybody in home office. But most of our policies are straight through processing, which means they get issued right then and there.
Hey, we look forward to seeing you soon. Now that the COVID thing is off, and tomorrow down at Pearland at Bayway Chevrolet.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Thank you so much. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Angelica Brothers with Haggerty Insurance. It's always good to talk to her.
Yep.
And,
it's
interesting. New. Yeah, we always find out something new about the limitations of insurance and what it is they can write a policy on, what they can't.
Right. And that was today, a few things that they can't. I learned a few things about them. And she's got a pretty good connection into the car culture in Houston.
Well, everybody in town knows her because she's usually at most of the events. at some point or another.
It was like she was out at Coffee and Cars earlier this morning and making rounds like that. So,
got a couple of news stories I want to get in. Parkopedia's parking and payment services will now be available to Toyota and Lexus brand vehicles in North America. The new Park with Parkopedia service will cover locating, reserving, and paying for off-street parking in 2018 model year or newer Toyota and Lexus vehicles, according to a statement issued this week. The app is integrated into the Toyota and Lexus smartphone apps and vehicle infotainment systems and can be downloaded via Apple or Google Play. Toyota will use Parkopedia's payment platform to handle payments with coverage across major parking providers, including 60,000 off-street locations and more than 6,000 reservable locations in the United States. Parkopedia. I'd never heard of that before.
Read that last paragraph again.
Why?
Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers.
Yeah, I got that. That's good. What?
Yeah, they're real big over in Europe. They're making their way over here. Yeah, I think mainly Sweden and Norway kind of places.
GM will build some 2021 full-size pickups and SUVs without the automatic start-stop fuel-saving feature. Yes, because of the global microchip shortage, according to the automaker. The feature, which turns off the engine when the vehicle is not moving, will no longer be available on select models of the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban, the GMC Yukon and Yukon XL, and Cadillac Escalade and Escalade ESV SUVs.
They're going to strip that out of there.
It will also be unavailable on certain light-duty Chevy Silverado and GMC pickup trucks.
Now, I read that story, and I wondered, is that all they're missing by not putting that chip in there?
They're saving the chip for use
some cars
elsewhere.
have got 15, 20 chips in them.
Well, I understand, but if that chip is only doing that and you're holding up your whole production and shutting down plants because of that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Zip that thing out of there.
So did you hear that GMC Silver and Sierra and Silverado ran on a under 20 days supply for the month of May?
That's not surprising.
That's unbelievable how tight the inventories were.
A couple of other stories. The 2022 Chevy Corvette on sale this year will come with an upgraded fuel system, additional colors and special editions similar to racing models, to meet a new particulate emissions requirement.
Oh, my gosh, please.
GM had to re-engineer much of the engine and fuel management systems, he said.
Particulate.
But the 2022 model maintained 490 horsepower or 495 horsepower on available performance exhaust systems. The 22 models also come in 3 new exterior colors: hypersonic gray, caffeine, and amplify orange tint coat.
And the IMSA GTLM special edition car.
The coupe model start at $62,195. Chevy revealed the special edition model this Wednesday ahead of the Detroit Grand Prix today. Chevy's returning to the Detroit track for the first time in 13 years. Chevy canceled the remaining 2021 allocations, and customers who ordered a 2021 model that has not been built will now get a 2022 instead.
Probably with a price increase as well.
I don't know. Probably.
So you heard Toyota announced 7 new vehicles coming to the showroom in the next couple of months. The biggest one is a Corolla SUV. So they're going to put that name Corolla on an SUV.
I got a real problem with that, and I didn't know it until I had the Mustang Mach-E. And the story that I read last weekend that compared the Mustang Mach-E to the Mustang automobile. No.
Yeah,
it's the same name, but it has no relationship to each other. No, there's no motor, electric motor in a Mustang per se, but there is in the. What?
So the other thing within these 7 vehicles, one of the new vehicles is the Prius Nightshade. It's an all blacked out Prius, wheels, exterior trim and stuff, and they actually introduced it on International Goth Day.
Murdered out Prius.
All right, that's just great. We got more. We're going to wrap up today's N-Wheel Times car show right after this, so stay with us.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos expands again. Now you'll be able to participate at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier Saturday morning cruise-in, featuring made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and good times. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos, now at 3 Loopy Tortilla locations. Highway 249 in Tomball, West U on 59 near Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. At Tailpipes and Tacos, you'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at 3 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy, Tomball, and West U. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Show will be broadcasting from the Katy location. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m., now at 3 locations, Tomball, Katy, and West U, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Well, that's it for this episode of the In Real Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Real Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InRealTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet. Special thanks to all of our guests today, some of which didn't show up. The In Real Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Manager and Video Technical Director, we need more, Jeff Zekin. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars is Royalty King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Hey, be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our 3-hour live broadcast across a multitude of audio and video streaming platforms right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Today's show is produced by Heather Locklear. Mark your calendar to join us for our special broadcast from the Wheelchair for Warriors Car Show at Bayway Chevrolet tomorrow, Sunday, June 13th, from 2 to 5 p.m. Or better yet, come on out. Next Saturday, we'll be live from Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex parking lot from 8 to 11 a.m. That's it. So long for now. Have a super-duper weekend.